And a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network. Alongside Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Happy Friday to you. Rivalry renewed as for the first time in 14 years at Roncalli, 13 years overall. A regular season meeting takes place between the Roncalli Royals and the 6th-ranked Irish of Cathedral. Back in the friendly confines of Bob Tully Field, after a rough performance on the road down I-65 South a week ago, Dan, a 43-0 running clock loss to Louisville Mail. But it's a rivalry week. Anything can happen during rivalry week. Royals hoping to bury that result from a week ago, turn it into a win this week.
Yeah, and if you're Lions coach Dan Campbell, you literally bury that tape, right? And you hear about coaches doing that all the time. You're not going to get anything out of the tape from last week, so move forward. And obviously the opponent this week is another tough one, but it's one that you're a little more familiar with, although these kids haven't been around the Cathedral rivalry as much as some of our alumni and our listeners, I'm sure. But either way, the Roncalli Cathedral rivalry has been here across sports, not just football. It's a spirited rivalry, a passionate one. The Cathedral side's almost full already, so it really feels like the old days here tonight at Roncalli Stadium, and I'm really excited for this one.
We're going to take a break, a 1-minute break, in fact, and be back with our pregame conversation with Royals head coach Eric Quintana. It's a rivalry renewed. Royals, Irish. Pregame chat with Coach Q is next.
To recognize that in everything they do, they are to glorify and praise you. Help us to always be mindful.
Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane and Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane and Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane and Bartram, 317-889-9574. Hey, maybe the summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
Your Royals 3-2 on the season, getting set back home from the confines of Roncalli Stadium and Bob Tully Field as they welcome in parochial rivals, the Rebuff Jesuit Braves. Joining us as he does each and every game day, Royals head coach Eric Quintana. Coach, it'll be another matchup inside of top 15, top 20 schools as your 8th-ranked Royals get set to host the Braves. We'll get into that matchup in just a second, but first, I want you to take me through what was the most impressive performance, I would argue, to date for this program, a 35-21 near dominance against the Golden Eagles. What did the film review to you about your group on Monday?
Yeah, it was good. You know, when we watched the film over the weekend, we found that we're just what we talk about each week, where we're improving in spots that need to be improved upon. So offensively, that's our quarterback position and our offensive line. So we saw a good game, good execution, starting to refine those fine skills that you work on throughout the season in terms of technique and in terms of just football IQ. So extremely proud of our group, extremely proud of our guys of setting that standard and accomplishing that standard of just getting better each week at what we do. So, again, we saw that. And then defensively, you know, we had still not happy about it a week later, but we had 2 goofs 2 missed assignments, which didn't cost us this week, but most certainly could cost us here in the next foreseeable weeks of not covering a receiver, just having a mental mistake. And then going into the half, that just can never, ever happen.
Yeah.
So,
Coach, I don't want to cut across you, but I want to ask you about that. And I know that sometimes our back and forths, our conversations sometimes, this is from nobody, like no one has critiqued me on this, by the way, but sometimes it's like, oh, the post-game conversation, how is it this week? 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I don't want to go too long with this because overall it was a positive performance for the Royals, but specifically end of the half. As you looked back at film, the breakdown that occurred, would a timeout have solved that? Or was it one of those where situationally the group needed to be better on the communication, or was it a combination of all things?
Yeah, definitely a combination of the two. So I'm a huge ownership guy. So I will take ownership in calling a timeout, especially with our, I don't want to say inexperienced group, because that's probably where the most experience is on our team, is our defensive backfield and our linebackers. But yeah, as the leader of the team, a timeout probably should have been called. But we ran our base coverage, and something that we've installed since we started in May. So it's just one of those things where we got kind of under pressure, and one guy heard this and one guy heard that, and that's all it takes to give up a momentum swing like that. So again, it happened. We fixed it. We spent more time on it this week in practice. So looking at it from the good side is that we were able to make sure our guys, because at the end of the day, our guys do what we teach them to do. They don't just do random things. They just don't make blown assignments. So that's on us as coaches, and especially me and our defensive coordinator and our DB coach, which is the same. So that's on us, and we took ownership. We fixed it. We threw a lot more scenario type stuff like that this week in practice, and again, hopefully that won't ever cost us in the long term.
The one in the second half, how much of that was that they're running a wing T formation they're passing out of? How much of that was just a coverage breakdown, and how much of that is just, like you mentioned, little mistakes that didn't cost you last week, but that just need to be cleaned up?
Yeah, I'm going to take it on me because I'm the leader of the program and our defensive staff, but we subbed a corner out that play, and when we subbed the other guy in, not to fault to anything that he did, he was just in position to read the signal, and we didn't see it. And again, just a MA, what I call MAs, which Roncalli beating Roncalli. So those things just cannot happen, especially with the type of kids we have and the experienced coaches that we have. Those things can happen. So just a total missed assignment. Nothing that they did. We knew that they were going to run that old school run and shoot offense when they were pinned against the wall. And we practiced for it all week, and we had certain checks to whenever we saw that. And our guys rehearsed it a million times. I think it was just one of those things of subbing guys in and out at the wrong time, to be honest.
Coach, a lot of positives, though, from this matchup. You talk about it just from a look at the box score at halftime and then post game, pretty much in every statistical category. It was a Roncalli victory, and you limited an offense that, again, maybe Garrett Cal doesn't say.
Harding-Poorman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding-Poorman.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk-Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk-Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk-Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort. And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season. That's why right now, when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free. That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free. And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed. Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field on the campus of Roncalli High School. Rivalry week, the 6th-ranked Irish against your Roncalli Royals with Dan Lauk. I'm Jimmy Cook. Just moments away from the Royals running onto the field, as is tradition from the Woods. And as we await their run onto the field and the opening coin toss, let's send it over to Dan for Dan's keys to the game.
Thanks, Jimmy. Beautiful night here tonight. Obviously, rivalry renewed. I love seeing those gold helmets out there for us to bash against, right? Not because I like the gold helmets, but Royals coming out of the woods right now. And look, this is going to be a test tonight, Jimmy, just like it has been the past couple weeks for the Royals. This is a high-powered offense, and it all starts with Danny O'Neill on that Irish sideline. He's a Colorado recruit, and look, if Coach Prime likes you, you're probably pretty good. So he's a talented quarterback that's mobile. Offensively, I look for us to try to control the clock. This is a really good Cathedral team that's going to be contending for a 6A state title. You try to keep this game as close as possible and turn it into a rock fight and see what you got at the end. Defensively, again, I already mentioned his name, but Danny O'Neill, you can't let it become the Danny O'Neill show. If he's running the ball wherever he wants to and has wide open first reads that he can hit easily, we're going to be in trouble. But if you can get a little pressure on him, take away his quick reads, and make him hit the difficult throws, I think the Royals have a shot.
O'Neill with 1,300 yards passing, 22 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a 64% completion rate, 413 yards on the ground as well, 5 touchdowns. As Dan mentioned, he is as good as advertised, and a Colorado commit headed to go play next year for Coach Prime and company out in Boulder. Fall has finally arrived. 59 degrees and windy here at Bob Tully Field. We had that nice, long, extended summer weather for a time, but with October finally upon us, the first real chilly night for us here during the Roncalli football season. Royals will be in their home red unis, white numerals lettering in the blue trim. Cathedral in those white copycat Notre Dame uniforms, navy numerals and lettering in the black trim with those signature gold helmets. Captain's meeting at midfield as we await for the signal from the officials. The Royals won the toss, and they will defer, receive the ball in the second half, so the Irish will receive the ball. So in a perfect world, if you're trying to map this out, Dan, in a Royal team that is in desperate need of a statement, nothing would fit that bill more than a statement defensive stop, quick 3-and-out for the Irish, followed by a nice long drive.
Yeah, you talk about a chance to turn around your season. It's been a tough last couple of weeks. There's no better way to turn around your season than to beat Cathedral. And like you mentioned, Jimmy, for Roncalli to have success, if you look back at our games previously in the year, you look at the Chittard game, for instance, Roncalli's got to score first. That's the biggest thing, because when Roncalli gets behind on the scoreboard, our offense is not built to be explosive and come back from that sort of deficit. So, like you mentioned, a 3-and-out here defensively, get the ball back, march the ball down and score. That completely changes the feel, not only on our sideline of gaining our confidence back, but on the opposing sideline of, oh boy, what are we in for here, right? So that's the key. If we can get that to start, I'll feel really good. If they march the ball down the field, we're going to have our hands full.
Levi Whistler set to boot it deep. Devon Slaughter and Jalen Bonds back deep to receive. Whistler will kick it right to left on your broadcast dial. Of course, you can visually see it if you're with us on YouTube as the kick goes all the way in the end zone, as is tradition with a Levi Whistler kickoff. It'll be a touchback, and we'll get a first look at this Irish offense. We already mentioned O'Neill's number, over 113 yards, 1,300 yards, I beg your pardon, on the season, 22 touchdowns, 5 picks, but also 3 different receivers with at least 5 touchdowns or more on the year. We'll have an errant whistle far side as a errant football came into play.
They finally tracked down Levi Whistler's 300-yard kickoff. But, yeah, that's what scares you about this offense, Jimmy. They have so many weapons. 2
wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Danny O'Neill in the gun, running back to his right side. It's a handoff on the left edge, and the Royals defense is there. Ben Brandenburg swings him down after a gain of 1.
Good to see Ben back out there on defense. We saw him get quite a few snaps at running back last week, and he's going to be a difference maker on the defensive end as well.
They'll call it a pickup of 2 for Jalen Bonds on that carry. 2 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. Royals jumped into the neutral zone. Unless it's a false start miracle, it will not be. It'll be encroachment on the Royals. It'll set up 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and those are those types of mistakes. We talked about it last week. You can control your effort. You can control your discipline. You cannot afford those types of mistakes against a team as talented as Cathedral.
Especially at home.
Yep.
2nd and 3 from their own 27 for the Irish. Opening possession of this ball game. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. O'Neill once again in the gun. Bonds the tailback. He'll give to Bonds. Up the middle. Has a blocker and a nice wraparound tackle on the far right side by J.J. Pendergast. It'll set up 3rd and short.
Great job by J.J. Cathedral ran a little counter play there where they pulled both their guard and their tackle. J.J. identified it immediately and replaced where the guard was pulling from and chased it down from the backside.
1 wide receiver to the left, 1 to the right. O'Neill in the gun. Bonds to his right side. They operate on the right hash. 3rd and 2 from their own 28. Give. O'Neill keeps it, and he's going to have the first down as he tucks it upfield all the way to the 38-yard line. It's a gain of 10 and a first down for the Irish.
Yeah, and you can see why Colorado's excited about Danny O'Neill. He's a dual threat, a true dual threat. He can beat you at any point in the field, and he pulls it there on the read option.
1st and 10 from the 38. Quick handoff. Bonds up the middle, dives forward for 5.
Some quick pace here from the Cathedral offense. So if you're Roncalli, you got to get back on the ball as quickly as possible, and it really forces you to stay in your base defense for most of the drive.
2nd and 5 from their own 43. 2 wide receivers to the left and 2 to the right for O'Neill, who has Bonds to his left side. Measures the Royal defense, who have 3 down linemen on this 2nd and 5. They send a man in motion. O'Neal waits. Handoff. Bonds turns upfield, breaks a tackle, dives forward, has the first down.
And a good job by Roncalli there fitting that run. Just a few missed tackles, a pretty tough run by Bonds there. That was the power play. They bring that big tight end across the formation. He's 6'7", 225 pounds. Talking about Zach Meeks, and he's a load, but he's also really effective in the passing game. So he's somebody to keep an eye on tonight for the Irish.
A wide receiver split out on either side. Now they send a man in motion. That's Slaughter. He'll match up left side on a wheel route. Now a double pump. O'Neal pressure breathing down his neck. He rolls. He throws a perfect spiral, but it's into coverage and broken up. Royals nearly picked that ball off, but wide receiver turned defender in Albrin Johnson able to poke that out of there, and it's a harmless 2nd and 10.
Yeah, so the Irish go for the shot play there. They run the motion across the formation, send that guy on a wheel route. They try to hit the home run ball, but good pressure by Justin Anciso of the Royals to make O'Neal a little bit uncomfortable. He ends up making a big mistake, and he's lucky that didn't come down in a red shirt.
2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left for the Irish on this 2nd and 10 from their own 49. Opening drive of this ball game with 9:47 to go. Play action, screen pass, right side, it's dropped. It's dropped. They were looking on the far side for Johnson once again, but that time he could not hang on to it. In fact, he had to jump backwards to come back to the ball to find it, but it falls harmlessly to the turf, and it's 3rd and 10.
And Johnson, another big target, 6'6", 190 pounds, but that play wasn't going to go anywhere even if he caught it. Cole Kessler was in great position there. Connor Kessler, pardon me. No, Cole Kessler. I'm getting the Kessler kids all confused. Was in great position to make a tackle had he caught it.
3rd and 10 for their own 49. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. O'Neal in the gun. 2-step drop. Surveys. He's got to tuck it and run, and the Royals have him swallowed up. He still carries the pile, though, for 4 extra yards. So it's not a sack, but it will lead to a 4th and 6 for the Irish past midfield, and I believe they'll send the punting unit out there.
That's a great job by the Roncalli defense to get some pressure on O'Neal, but it's discipline pressure. So the one thing that you want to avoid, and I know the coaches talked about this a lot this week, is you don't want to over-rush, whether it's from the interior or the exterior, because Danny O'Neal wants to pull that ball down and run first. He's not going to scramble to throw. They're going to leave the offense out on the field here, so we'll see what they do.
So the Irish ran to the sideline like they were going to make a change and then brought most of their people back, but this could be a pooch punt from O'Neal. 4th and 7 from the 48, and it is indeed a pooch that takes a wicked turn for the Royals, but it takes an Irish bounce, and then a Royals bounce. So it'll stop at about the 30-yard line. All things considered, Roncalli did not get the 3 and out they wanted, Dan, but they made a defensive stand and now have an opportunity to draw first blood, 1st and 10 from their own 30.
Yeah, and the wind's going to be a factor tonight, Jimmy. That's a big reason why the Royals chose to defer. You now have the wind at your back in the first quarter, and then you can choose in the second half which way you want to kick. So the wind definitely affected the kickoff from Levi Whistler. He's got a big leg anyways, but it went about 300 yards. And then that punt, just got stuck in the air, blown backwards, actually.
So here's the Royals offense, led by Colin Ash. Brent Vandenberg is the tailback. 1st and 10 from their own 30. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. They send a man in motion. It's a handoff. Brandenburg up the middle, and he's trapped. He trapped after a gain of 1. He was basically trapped between his right guard as well as the defensive tackle for Cathedral had nowhere to go. It'll be a gain of a yard, maybe 2.
Yeah, and I wonder, Ben, with the neck injury, with the neck roll, how much that affects his visibility and his ability to find. When you're running that zone run game, sometimes the cutback lane is weak, and it was there a little bit. He didn't see it. 2
wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right on this 2nd and 8 from their own 32. High snap, handoff, Brandenburg, and he's tackled from behind.
Yeah, not much going here, and this is a really good Cathedral defense led by defensive coordinator Adam Barth, who's been at Cathedral for a long time. He's one of the best coordinators in the state. They're going to be really aggressive in that 3-3 stack, play with 3 defensive linemen, but they're going to blitz with those aggressive linebackers and their safety. Their free safety is not a traditional safety. He's really more of a run defender than anything. So that's a vulnerable part of their defense if you can get players up the seam.
It'll be a 3rd and 8 for Colin Ash and the Royals. Ball on their own 32, 7:45 to play in this first quarter. We're scoreless. He's 56% completion percentage coming in. This will be his first throw of the game, and he overshot his intended receiver. 3 and out for the Royals.
He had what he wanted, and he also, as I mentioned previously, the seams are typically where you can attack Cathedral defensively, and it looked like he had 2 or 3 guys open there. Again, the wind's going to play a factor, and that ball definitely sailed on Colin a bit. he would have had a chance at the first down had been able to catch up to that. But like I said, that wind is really howling right now.
Well, it says windy in the forecast apps, and it's described as a 16-mile-an-hour wind at times with 32-mile-an-hour gusts. You can see the trees moving.
This is a gust.
There is some serious gust. Whistler gets still a beautiful punt away. That'll take a Royals bounce to 30. It'll be touched down at the 25 of Cathedral. So a heck of a punt from Levi Whistler, and we'll see the Cathedral offense for the second time tonight. 7:31 to play in this opening quarter. We're still scoreless.
Yeah, and good job by the Roncalli defense on that first possession. Obviously, with the wind blowing in the face of the Irish, it's going to limit how much they can attack you downfield, which means defensively your play calling can be a little bit more aggressive.
1st and 10 Irish. Ball on their own 25. 2 wide receivers to the right, none to the left. Bond is the tailback. Neal in the gun. Handoff. Bond tries to find something right side. Finds the corner and is tackled from behind after a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 upcoming.
Great initial penetration by Sam New off the edge. The one mistake he made, and we talked about it last week, Jimmy, is reaching and trying to tackle with your fingertips. Not going to happen again this week. So you got to stay with the play, get your chest on the defender, and get him to the ground. But he did a really nice job getting penetration to start the playoff.
O'Neal in shotgun. Bond to his right side. Handoff again to Bond. Up the middle, and he's going to be close to that first down marker. They'll call him about a yard short. So it'll be 3rd and 1.
Another nice job by Cole Kessler there. He had the kick-out block coming to his face, and he ended up using the technique we call it a spill technique, where he goes inside the kick-out block to really cause some junk in there.
3rd and 1. Handoff. Bond got the first down, and Moore breaks a tackle to the 45 and brought down at the 48-yard line of Cathedral. It'll be a gain of 14, 1st and 10 Irish with 6:38 to play in this opening quarter.
Yeah, interesting observation defensively for Roncalli so far. Zane Baker, who's typically, at that right guard spot for the Royals, was just in there on defense. So expect to see some subs tonight.
2 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. Play action. O'Neal rolling, has a man open near the sideline, and is able to make the catch. No, he could not get a foot down. The sideline official says he was forced out. That was the tight end, Zach Meeks. He caught that ball at the 35 of Roncalli, but he was out of bounds, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, there's that big target we talked about. They've got a few of them out there. Really didn't like the eye discipline there from the Roncalli defense.
2 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. Give us to Bond. Misdirection. Left side. Has a hole. Bounces out and is brought down at the 46-yard line of Roncalli. So it'll be 3rd and about 5.
Big 3rd down here. The Irish are going to substitute, which gives the Roncalli defense a little breather. This has been fast-paced so far.
2 wide receivers stacked to the left, none to the right on the left hash. Under 6 minutes to play. We're scoreless. 3rd and 5 for the Irish from the Roncalli 46. Handoff. Bond up the middle. It's a different tailback. I beg your pardon. He has the first down and more. It's a good carry there on that far left side of the field by Colin Avers. First down for the Irish.
The Irish have yet to throw outside of that one incompletion on this drive, so expect them to continue to try to establish the run game with this win.
2 wide receivers to the right, none to the left. 1st and 10. Handoff. Avers jump cut, has space, and is brought down after a gain of 7. 2nd and 3.
So we saw Cathedral out of the gate try to run perimeter. This drive has been much more straight up the gut, downhill. So they must have found something they like in the Roncalli defense to exploit. So if you're Roncalli here again, getting down to this part of the field is where you got to be really tough and try to hold them to a tough field goal attempt with this win.
O'Neal in the gun, Bond the tailback now. They'll give the Bond. He'll go right side, has a block. Truck sticks a player on the 35. Trying to make the tackle, and best he could was Sam Rader, and that's rare you're going to see Sam get trucked like that, but that's exactly what Bond was able to do. He moved the chains, and the Irish are just outside the red zone.
It's the law of physics.
Yep, indeed.
Bigger piece of mass hitting smaller piece of mass.
O'Neal's going to keep it this time. Has one man to juke. He cannot do it, but he's able to get to the 10. It's a pickup of 12. Give the tackle and the credit to Dylan Henry, but it'll be 1st and 10 from the 12. Correction, they'll mark it to the 7. 1st and goal from the 7. A stat of note, opponents are 15 of 16 in the red zone against the Royals this season. O'Neal keeps it, and it's going to be 16 of 17. Touchdown Irish. O'Neal calls his own number, 7 yards to the right side, and with 4:44 to play in this first quarter, Irish draw first blood, 6-0.
Yeah, that drive felt a little bit like Cathedral woke up. And they've got big, physical, experienced players And you saw a few physical runs there where they really ended the play versus Roncalli laying the hammer down. So tough drive there for the Royal defense.
Low snap. Point after try is good. 4:44 to play in this opening quarter. The Irish strike first on their second possession of the ball game on a Danny O'Neill scamper. Cathedral 7, Roncalli nothing. Back in 30 seconds on the Roncalli Media Network.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Ane and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane and Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane and Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane and Bartram, 317-889-9574.
4:44 to play in this opening quarter. Cathedral on their second drive of the ball game takes it 10 plays, 76 yards in 2 minutes and 47 seconds. A 7-yard touchdown run by Danny O'Neill. For Danny, his 6th rushing touchdown of the season, and Cathedral leads at 7-0. Roncalli will have an opportunity to answer, but less than inspiring in terms of offensive attack in that opening drive for the Royals.
Yeah, I think you're really going to have to use the wind to your advantage and get as many bodies in the tackle box defensively as you possibly can. I know you're worried about Danny O'Neill picking you apart in the secondary, but it's not a perfect night like it was 2 weeks against Maverick Geske. So you got to take your shots if you want to stay in this one.
So windy, they have a holder for the kick, and that's going to be taken at the 10 and run out of bounds at the, correction, it's taken at the 5 and run out of bounds at the 8.
I
don't let that go, that probably rolls out of bounds.
Possibly. I was going to say, I don't know if Justin Tucker, the kicker for the Baltimore Ravens, could kick a touchback in this wind right now.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's howling. So, yeah, listen, you got 4 minutes left in this first quarter. Obviously, Cathedral was able to fight through the wind with a physical run game. If you're Roncalli, you've got to use the wind to your advantage here. But at the same time, you want to get Ben Brandenburg the ball as much as possible.
Well, they'll be backed up all the way to their own 8 on the special teams. Miscommunication there. So it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 8. 2 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. Brandenburg the tailback, Ash in the gun. Handoff. Brandenburg trying to find the edge. He's got a one-on-one. He's trying to turn the corner, and he does it at 10. Out to the 13. Call it a gain of 5. 2nd and 5 upcoming.
Yeah, and really good blocking up front from the Royals, especially from that left side of the offensive line. And Charlie Elsner at that H-back position. He did a great job sealing the edge of that big physical front of Cathedral. Brandenburg has the speed to be able to run with these athletes in the back.
2 wide receivers to the right, none to the left. Ash once again in the gun, 2nd and 5 from their own 13. 4:12 to play in this opening quarter. Irish 7, Roncalli nothing.
And this is the slower pace that I would anticipate you see from Roncalli to keep this game as close as possible here in this first half.
Ash in the gun, now puts Brandenburg on his left hip on this 2nd and 5. High snap, give, Brandenburg cuts up field, and he's able to get to the 15, so a gain of 2. 3rd and 3.
Yeah, traditional power look, and again, this is on script for Roncalli. You'll take 3rd and 3 every single time. Again, they're not an explosive offense, so 3rd and 3 is more than manageable for this team.
2 wide receivers to the right side, none to the left. Roncalli, they'll call it a gain of 3 the last carry, so it's 3rd and 2 instead from their own 16. Under 3.5 to play in this opening quarter. Ash looks to the sideline, now changes things to the line of scrimmage. Ash waits, handoff. Brandenburg is lit up by 3 Irishmen. Be a loss of 3, and the Royals will be forced to punt. Back-to-back drives to open this ball game.
Yeah, immediate penetration there from Aiden Hughes, the linebacker, 6'4", 210 pounds. He came on the blitz. We talked about that 3-3 stack. You hear 3 different defensive linemen. That doesn't mean they're only coming with 3. They are more often than not going to blitz at least one of their linebackers or their outside linebackers from the perimeter.
Levi Whistler has a 74-yard school record punt on his repertoire. He's kicking with the wind at his back, standing in his own end zone. Good snap. They bring the house, and it's blocked. An official is truck sticked. The Irish scoop it up. Did it go out of bounds, or was it a scoop and score touchdown? No signal yet. The white hat got lit up. It was in the deck. He didn't have the call. so he's relying on his officials, and they'll say it's a scoop and score touchdown. Levi Whistler has his kick blocked in the end zone. The Irish get to it, and it's 13-0.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple times this year. I don't know if Levi didn't feel like he had a good grip on the ball, but he took one extra step, and that allowed the Cathedral rush to get home. It wasn't necessarily bad protection from the Royals. It just took too long to execute that. And you'll see that at the college level, especially those Australian punters that will run out with the ball. But if you're going to do that, your protection has to be set up to do that.
Yep.
Roncalli's isn't. So really those couple steps Levi's taking, if you take 1-2 extra, it's going to be way too much time for the defenders to get in there.
Point after try for the Irish. Good snap, good hold. PAT is good. 2:33 to play in this first quarter. Irish lead at 14-0 thanks to a blocked punt, scoop, and score for Cathedral. Back in 30 seconds on the Roncalli Media Network.
Time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options. Truly part of your community. Lauk and Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
2:33 to play in this opening quarter with Dan Lauk. I am Jimmy Cook. Happy Friday night to you wherever you may be listening or watching on the Roncalli Media Network. Cathedral leads at 14-0 thanks to a block, punt, scoop, and score. Leads to a point after try. First time we've had the old not applicable thrown on the score chart. No time possession or plays needed there, because the Irish get it done on special teams. Well, Dan, we talk about it, and Coach has said this before. Any night, got to control your controllables. That was not what that was.
100%, especially against a team like Cathedral. I've said it a lot last week. You can control your effort. You can control your execution. We didn't execute there, and that led to 7 points. Good teams are going to do that to you every time.
Royals back to receive the kick. Really, that all started by the special teams miscue of fielding that kickoff out of bounds. This one will be taken at the 20. Blockers in front of the 25, out to the 28 before the play is going to be blown dead. Forward progress will mark it at the 28-yard line. So that's where Roncalli will start for the third time this evening. Not a turnover on downs. A punt and a blocked punt has been the summary so far through nearly a quarter of Roncalli offense.
Yeah, I think, one of my keys to the game I didn't get to pregame was taking shots against this aggressive Cathedral defense early on. First down, second down. You're not going to be able to beat them straight up if it's 3rd and 7 and you're trying to throw vertical. But you might be able to catch them off guard and hit something down the seam on first down. So wouldn't be surprised if the Royals try that here.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right on this 1st and 10 for their own 28. Ash sends a man in motion. That's Shutley. Give. Play action. Shutley. Screen. He's lit up and cannot fight out of the tackle. Trying all his might, but it's a loss of 4, perhaps 5 on the screen pass by Roncalli.
Yeah, and you understand what Roncalli's trying to do. Cathedral's defense has long, rangy corners, but they'll get really deep. So a lot of times if you can get a first good block on their outside linebacker, you can create a lot of space for your athletes. But unfortunately, we missed a block on the perimeter there, and their outside linebacker was just more physical, fought through it, made the tackle.
Ash looks to the sidelines. 2 wide receivers to his left, one of which is Christian Sweezy, the team's leader in receptions. Yet to say his name tonight. Shutley out there as well on the left side.
They look confused.
And the Royals are going to have to burn a timeout. We will take one with them as well. 1:38 to play in this opening quarter. Timeout Royals. 2nd and 15 for Roncalli. We come back. Irish lead it 14-0.
Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
Second and 15 for the Royals from their own 23-yard line. A minute 38 to play in this opening quarter. Irish lead at 14-0. Ash in the gun. 2 wide receivers to his left, 1 to his right. He'll roll left. Looking for Elsner. Feeds him. It's caught at the 27. It'll be a gain of 4. The Royals love to run that play-action rollout for Ash to Elsner, but Cathedral, like many teams, had that sniffed out, and in fact, it'll be a gain of 5, so it'll set up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and it's a good job to at least get it back to the sticks to give yourself a chance here. Again, you've still got the wind at your back here in the first quarter, so it shouldn't be a problem throwing into the wind. The problem is Cathedral's going to back off and probably play coverage here.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash in the gun. Irish shows some pressure, and a flag flies. Let's see. It'll be a false start of the Royals.
Execution, discipline.
Controllables.
Yeah, it's just the things you can't get away with. I mean, listen, anybody watching this game knows that Cathedral is more experienced and probably has a lot more talent on that field than we'd like to admit.
That said, don't help them.
No, if they're going to beat you straight up and you're executing perfectly,
Yep.
you feel okay with that. But you can't have these penalties and these mental errors.
3 lined up to the left, 1 to the right. Ash in the gun, 3rd and 15. 3-step drop, pressure's there. Ash running for his life. He's going to tuck it and run down the sideline, lowers his shoulder. He'll get to the 30. That'll be about 8 yards short of the sticks, and the Royals will punt this ball away.
And I talked about the Irish will line up with 3 defensive linemen, but they'll slant those defensive linemen. They're typically pretty athletic kids, and they bring that A-gap blitz from the second level, but it wasn't the central middle linebacker. They play with 3 linebackers, but it was the one from the left side that came to the A-gap. The Royals didn't see it to pick it up.
Whistler, this time his punt is high and skying deep in the air, and it's taken to the 30-yard line, out to the 35, and a great space tackle made there by the Royals. It was Jackson Lockhart on the return. He'll take it, as we mentioned, about the 35. That's where the Irish will have it. 1st and 10 from their own 35. 28 seconds to play in this opening quarter. They lead at 14-0.
Yeah, really nice tackle there by Cole Kessler. We've called his name a few times already tonight, but that was a nice open field tackle. Had he not made that, Cathedral had the blocking set up for a nice sideline return.
1 wide receiver to the left and 1 to the right for Ash. On this 1st and 10 from zone 35, could likely be the final play of the first quarter. Handoff, Bonds, 40, cuts up, 45, 50, to the sideline. He's finally forced out at about the 44-yard line of Roncalli. They're past midfield. They're in Roncalli territory. Clock will stop momentarily with 21 seconds to play in the quarter.
I liked Bonds on film, but he's much more physical in person when you see him running.
Clock will stop completely with him getting out of bounds on his own accord, they'll say. Handoff, Bonds, full head of steam, picks up 7. Keeps the legs turning, maybe 8. Let's see where the forward progress is. I believe it'll be a gain of 7, and that will likely be the final play of this first quarter. That will indeed be the final play of this first quarter. Well, we mentioned it. You got to control the controllables. Roncalli, if you take away the miscue on the punt, it's only a 7-point ball game. But because the blocked punt, because the Irish being just a step quicker or 2 in that first quarter, they lead it after 1. 14-0. We'll have 2nd and 3 when we come back on the Roncalli Media Network.
Summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
While while we were away, 2nd and 3 for the Irish. It's a quick pass towards the sticks, but it's incomplete, so it sets up 3rd and 3 for Cathedral from the Roncalli 41 with Dan Lauk. I'm Jimmy Cook, 11:56 to play in this second quarter. 14-0 Irish. One wide receiver to the right, one to the left. O'Neal in the gun, Bonds the tailback. He'll keep it himself. O'Neal has space to the 40, to the 35. He gets a block, and we'll move those chains.
And it's really tough because Cathedral's bringing that H-back across the formation on that read option as an extra blocker. But it just doesn't appear to me that Roncalli has that hang player that's responsible for the pull of the quarterback right now, and that's just leading to easy yards for Danny O'Neal.
One wide receiver to the right, one to the left. 1st and 10 for the Roncalli 35. Handoff. Bonds. Oh, it's play action. O'Neal rolling. Pressure coming. Fires cross-body. Incomplete. Overshot his intended receiver. He was looking for Keith Long, but overshot him. Good pressure there by the Royals.
Yeah, and a designed rollout there from Cathedral. You saw him pull their play side guard to give O'Neal a little extra protection. But again, like you mentioned, some pretty good pressure by that Roncalli front. And so far, we've seen Danny O'Neal on the run. He hasn't been as accurate.
2nd and 10 for the Roncalli 35. Two wide receivers to the right, one to the left. Irish operating right to left. Handoff, Bonds. Bounces it outside, now cuts back upfield. Royals dive on top of him and limit it to only a 4-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 6.
And listen, Jimmy, if you would have told me coming into starting the second quarter, Cathedral got the football first and they had yet to complete a pass, I'd feel pretty good about that. It's the miscues from the Royals and the physical running game of the Irish right now that's got them on top.
They'll call it a gain of 3. Stacked in the slot, one wide receiver to the left, one to the right on 3rd and 7 from the Roncalli 32. Play action, screen, left side, deflected off the hands of the intended target. Once again, Keith Long. It's 4th down. Decision time for the Irish. It'll be 4th and 7 from the Roncalli 32.
Yeah, really tough call here if you're the Irish. I don't know what their kicking game is like, but obviously you have the wind at your back, but this would be about a 50-yarder. It looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field.
1 for 4 along of 35 in terms of their kicking game. So they'll keep the offense out there. 4th and 7 for the Roncalli 32. O'Neal looks left, looked right, all-out blitz, high screen. Royals sniff it out and turn him over on downs. Tackles made by Parker Doherty. Roncalli set the house. It paid off, and they're able to get a big turnover on downs. They'll have it 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line.
Yeah, I like the call from Cathedral. They try to set up an interior screen, a tunnel screen, where you bring the receiver, you release your offensive line, but bring the receiver back to the middle of the field. Dylan Henry did a fantastic job identifying that and sticking to the receiver and really making a nice tackle, because had he not, that would have been 6. Good stand there from the Royal defense.
Now, if you're the Royals, you're happy with the defense, but if you're the offense, you got to make it matter. 1st and 10 from your own 29. 3 wide receivers to the right, one to the left, Ash in the gun. Zach Dozier, the tailback. They send Elsner in motion. And a flag's going to fly, likely a false start on the Royals.
Yeah, it looked like Dozier in the backfield had too much forward momentum, took a little step forward. He's shrugging like, what did I do? But I could see it from up here. You probably heard me grunt on the air.
Yep.
But, man, you have the momentum changer of Dylan Henry making a really nice play. You start to feel the energy. First play on offense, false start. You can't have it. Can't have it no matter who you're playing, especially Cathedral.
And again, I'll emphasize that you can't have it at home. 1st and 15 from your own 24-yard line. One wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Play action, looking for a screen. Instead goes deep downfield, and it's broken up.
Yeah, and you can see clearly the wind is affecting both quarterbacks right now.
James Guthrie, the intended receiver, by the way.
Yeah, and you've got Ash now throwing into the wind and O'Neal throwing with it. O'Neal overthrew several of his receivers on that last possession. That time Colin really tried to force it, knowing he's throwing into the wind, and it kind of sailed a little bit.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 2nd and 15. Irish lead at 14-0, about a minute into this second quarter. Handoff, Dozier goes nowhere.
Yeah, it looked off the snap there, the Roncalli offensive line, that was an outside zone run. Did a really good job getting that wide step, and you were just waiting for that vertical seam to open, but the speed of the Irish defense, they were just able to stay disciplined and keep those holes from opening up.
3rd and 13 for Roncalli from their own 26-yard line. Dozier's the tailback out there. Guthrie is out there with Sweezy. as well as Elsner and Shutley. Guthrie and Sweezy will be lined out to the left. There'll be Shutley to the right with Elsner.
Wouldn't mind a little interior screen here from the Royals like we saw from the Irish.
3rd and 13. Irish show pressure. Takes the snap, does Ash. Throws out to the flat to Shutley. Makes a man miss to the 35, all the way to the 40, near the first down line. Let's see where they mark him. He's going to have the first down. What an extra effort by Rudy Shutley to make one man miss in a burst of speed. Moves the chains out to the Roncalli 41.
Fantastic effort there from Rudy, and I've been hard on the Royals about their execution these past 2 weeks. That ball got out quick to Shutley, so he had time to make a move on the Irish corner. He makes 2 of them and picks up the first down. Great play.
1st and 10 for the Roncalli 41. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Ash takes the snap, looks over the middle. High pass is picked off. It's deflected and picked off. Now the ball is stripped late and scooped forward. The Irish going to take it to the 30-yard line. It was a pass intended, I believe, in the area of Dozier. Went off his fingertips right into the breadbasket of the Irish.
Yeah, I think that ended up
Kyle
going to...
Braun able to pick it off. A late strip by the Royals as well. Moves that ball forward. And it'll wind up being a 1st and 10 for the Irish from the 30-yard line. Make it the 28 of Roncalli.
Targeting Guthrie there, and he gets his fingertips on it, but it tips up in the air for the Irish defender. That's just an unlucky break for the Royal offense. Expect a shot here from the Cathedral offense.
One wide receiver to the left, one to the right for O'Neal. Irish lead it 14-0. After the interception, they have 1st and 10 from the Roncalli 29. Slaughter to the right side. Johnson to the left. Behind the tailback, look like early movement. Let's see where it gets marked. It'll be a false start. I believe the first penalty of the game, if I'm not mistaken, on Cathedral.
Yeah, and you can see they were going to take the shot there, and that's something you'll see a lot from offenses. Coaches like to do that when there's a quick change of possession, a turnover, or a nice punt return to the middle of the field where your defense is kind of on its heels. But this completely changes the drive for the Cathedral offense, and hopefully the Royal defense can take advantage.
One wide receiver to the left, one to the right. O'Neal in the gun, 1st and 15 for the Roncalli 34. 3-step drop. Royal pressure is there. O'Neal going to tuck it and run. Nobody accounted for the quarterback. He cuts upfield to the 20, has a first down.
And that play was busted. It's a really athletic play from Danny O'Neal to make something out of nothing. Looked like the center snapped the ball just a smidge early. Kind of caught O'Neal off guard. You had 3 Roncalli defenders that I talked about it last week, net drill. When you're playing team defense, you better not be within an arm's reach of your teammate. If you are, then you're in the wrong spot. So they had 3 defenders right in Danny O'Neal's face, but nobody to kind of hem him in to that net, and he's a very athletic kid that's going to take advantage of that.
It's 1st and 10 from Roncalli's 18. Cathedral knocking on the door. Team 16 for 17 in the red zone against the Royals this season. Handoff, Bond, right side, trying to bounce it outside, now cuts back upfield, contorting his body to the 10, all the way to the 9, and I believe he'll have the first down. Let's see where they mark him, if he went out of bounds or not. If he did not, it's 1st and goal. He did not. 1st and goal, Irish.
Yeah, and it looked like the left side of the Irish offensive line got started a little early there, but they end up running that outside zone to the right side, and a hole opened up.
I will say it's stepping out at the 9 on the Bond carry, so 2nd and 1 from the 9. O'Neal to the left side. He shouts directions. One wide receiver to the left, one to the right. O'Neal keeps it himself, jumps outside, curves up to the turf near the pylon. And they'll say he is down just short, but it'll be 1st and goal from the 1 for the Irish, and they're hurrying quick to the line. O'Neal directly under center. Sends a man in motion. O'Neal, quarterback keeper, walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Irish. 8:40 to play in this first half. 20-0 Cathedral.
Really tough to deal with there. You have some positive momentum going there offensively if you're the Royals. Rudy Shutley makes a heck of a play to pick up a long 3rd and 10. The interception, the quick change of possession, you just had a feeling that Cathedral was going to take advantage of that. Now Roncalli's really in a hole.
Irish on for the point after try. Good snap. Good hold. Line drive of an extra point, but it is good. 8:40 to play in this first half. Irish on top, 21-0. Royals hoping for a response drive when we return on the Roncalli Media Network.
Proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Hey, maybe the summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
4 plays, 29 yards, 2 minutes and a second. That's all it took for the Irish to cap off a scoring drive. A 1-yard walk-in for Danny O'Neill makes it 21-0 in favor of Cathedral. With Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Royals back deep to receive, hoping for a better starting field position than what they've had to this point.
Yeah, wouldn't expect a chance at a return here with the. I think I could kick a touchback in this win, but
Morelli and Shutley back deep to receive, but again we mentioned anywhere from 13-mile-an-hour winds a constant, and a kick is a line drive that will go all the way to the end zone for a touchback. I don't know if we could have done it. I couldn't have done it. That wasn't very wind assisted. Maybe it was a bad kick with it having to be a human hold on it versus a tee, but I just barely got there.
Kept that ball low. You got to know. Listen, winds like this, you get your driver out, put it up as high into the sky as you can, let the wind carry. Yeah.
So the Royal offense in need of some answers here.
Yeah, and they showed a little momentum, positive momentum that last drive. It's going to be really tough to throw consistently against this Irish defense. I like the perimeter run that we've shown so far with Ben Brandenburg. Zach Dozier has shown that he can execute at that as well. So if we can get some outside zone going here, throw in a few screens, try to get a little more positive momentum.
1st and 10 from their own 20 off the touchback. 2 wide receivers to the right and 2 to the left. Ash in the gun. Play action. Quick pass over the middle. Incomplete. A little bit of jersey grabbing on that throw over the middle to Dozier. The coverage was there by Max Finn, 2nd down.
Yeah, and that one was really never there. We talked about the seams of the Irish being their vulnerability, and I actually like the play call. I talked to you earlier about taking that shot on 1st down, but the Irish were all over it that time.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ash in the gun. 2nd and 10 from Roncalli's own 20. Irish lead at 21-0. Handoff. Dozier looking for a hole. The Irish meet him after a gain of 2. 3rd down.
And the Irish have really abandoned their traditional 3-3 stack defense. They're really in a bear look, which is 3 down linemen, and then they walk up 2 of their linebackers to the line of scrimmage. So you've essentially got 5 on the line there, just forcing Colin Ash to beat him in man-to-man coverage.
And at this point, Roncalli, they've mixed in some pass attempts, but whether it's the wind, whether it's just miscommunication or timing, it has not been there. 3rd and 9 from their own 21. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash in the gun, pressures upon him, throws high, nearly intercepted again. There in space was Max Finn. He had the last pick, could not get it there. Irish force a 3 and out. Royals are forced to punt.
Yeah, and we've seen Colin be really good on his 2nd and 3rd reads all season. The problem is Cathedral brought a lot of pressure there, at least 5, if not 6 players on the blitz, and he didn't have time to get to a 2nd read. Really made a dangerous throw that was lucky not to be intercepted.
Jackson Lockhart stands at the Roncalli 49. Back to receive the Levi Whistler punt. He stands on the Roncalli 5. Whistler gets the punt away. It's going to take a Roncalli bounce and then a Cathedral bounce. Didn't get the distance on it that Levi wanted. It'll go to the 44 of Roncalli. So about a 23-yard punt overall. And the Irish will be in business. Again, from the Roncalli, they'll say 44. 1st and 10 Cathedral.
Yeah, and again, you look at the scoreboard or the statistics so far, Jimmy. And Cathedral's only completed 1 pass, and it's for 2 yards. So you look at that and you think, man, we should be in this game. We're not right now. And again, it's sooner rather than later. Danny O'Neal is going to try to take a shot downfield. I wouldn't be surprised if it's right now.
2 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. O'Neal in the gun has Bond to his right hip on this 1st and 10 from the 44. Ball's loose. Ball's on the deck. Royals have it. They scoop it up and take it to the 45-yard line. A miscommunication on the handoff between O'Neal and Bond, and the Royals have a pulse here in the second quarter.
2 drives in a row now where the Cathedral offense has been a little iffy on the snap. I don't know if it's miscommunication between the center and the quarterback, but again, that snap looked like it came a little bit hot. O'Neal wasn't able to corral it. I think it was going to be a pass play. It ends up bouncing off the running back's shoulder pads. And I'll tell you what, J.J. Pendergast did the smart thing. He scooped it up, just couldn't quite keep his balance, or else that would have been a touchdown.
He knew that he had to try to keep that center of gravity, and a heck of an effort by Pendergast, but he could not keep himself upright. So the Roncalli offense will have to seize the day. Dan, I don't like to throw it out there often, but this is a must-have 6 drive for the Royals. 1st and 10 for Cathedral 45. Miscommunication on their snap. Off a bounce. Dozier with a broken play will take it for a gain of 6. Dozier and Ash were right there. The snap came between both of them with how high and fast it was. Dozier's able to catch it on a bounce and takes it for a gain of 7. 2nd and 3.
Jimmy, I've never seen wind affect snaps, but maybe that's what's happening here because both teams struggling.
Bob Tully Field tonight. A wide receiver on either side. Ash, high snap, rolls left. No, it's a handoff up the middle to Brandenburg. He'll push forward for a gain of 2. 3rd and 1 upcoming.
Yeah, Royals obviously, coming into the game wanted to be slow and methodical, but now that you're down 21-0, you've got to pick up the pace a little bit, especially, if you're able to cut this to a 2-possession game, knowing you're getting the ball at halftime as well, you can get right back in this. So you want to have this be the most efficient drive that you've had so far of the night.
Shutley and Sweezy out left, nobody to the right. Dozier, the tailback, right next to Ash on 3rd and 2 from the Cathedral 37-yard line. Ash gives to Dozier, hesitates, pushes forward. The mark and the forward progress is going to give him the 1st down.
Good hard run there from Zach. We've talked about him being more of the lightning to Ben Brandenburg's thunder. But that time he lowered his shoulder and picked up just enough. Now, to really loosen up a defense, there are a few options. You can run the quarterback. You can throw the screen game. The Roncalli's yet to show the screen game yet, and I'd love to see him open it up here.
1 wide receiver to the right, 1 to the left. 1st and 10 from the Cathedral 34 with 6:23 to play in the half. Handoff. Dozier waits, goes right, and picks up 2.
And again, because Cathedral's just showing that bare front. Again, 5 defenders committed to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be really hard to run against that, especially when you don't have your bulldozer in there and Ben Brandenburg. So you're going to have to find a way to loosen up that front, get them to be a little less aggressive. Sometimes the best way to do that is to release their aggressive defensive linemen and try to hit them with a screen.
2 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. Ash in the gun, Dozier right next to him. 2nd and 8. Give. Dozier, left side, makes one man miss, keeps those legs churning. Near the 1st down, he's going to be a yard short. It'll set up 2nd and 1 from the 24-yard line of Cathedral with 5:35 to play in this 1st half.
An obvious 4-down territory here, Jimmy, so I would anticipate Roncalli to try to sneak one here. Not quarterback sneak, but try to catch Cathedral off guard, knowing that they've got 2 plays to pick up this 1st down. Maybe try to catch him off guard here and see if you can't get the ball in the end zone.
1 wide receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Ash in the gun. Dozier the tailback to his right side. Takes the snap. Give. Dozier lowers the shoulder and fights forward. I think forward progress is going to give him that 1st down. It'll be close. Let's see where the mark is. They might measure.
Yeah, it looks like they've got that stick just about half a yard past the 25-yard line.
So they'll call it no gain on the play. We've had a slight scoreboard malfunction, so it is 4th down. Down in distance and ball on is gone. Ball sits at the 35-yard line. We'll call the sticks the 34.
This is tough when you're a team that never gets under center. You don't have the QB sneak in your arsenal here.
1 wide receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Ash in the gun. Handoff. Dozier didn't get there. We'll see the mark, but from our vantage point in the box, he did not get there. The officials say the same. The Royals, just outside of the red zone, are turned away by the Irish with 4:31 to play in this 1st half.
And I know you like the success of the Roncalli running game, that drive. I mean, they picked up a couple 1st downs, but you can only run into that teeth of that Cathedral defense so many times when eventually they're just going to wear on you. So really would have liked to see Roncalli try to open it up there with some sort of screen, trick play, something to try to loosen the defense up.
One wide receiver to the right, one to the left. 1st and 10 from their own 26. Handoff, Bond looking for the edge. 25, 30, lowers the shoulder to the 35. Let's see where he went out. He's close to the sticks. They'll call him a yard short, 2nd and 1.
Really a pretty nice job by the interior of the Royal defense there. Another outside zone look, and they stretched well with that offensive line, but Bonds eventually found his hole.
The flag in the end zone is getting some work from the win. Handoff, Bond on 2nd and 1, up the middle for 4.
Late flag came out. I don't know if that fell out of the referee. Yeah, they're going to call a hold here, it looks like.
So it'll be a hold against the Irish. Cathedral, interesting enough, I don't know if it's the wind or if it's a disrespect, not a literal disrespect. I understand this rivalry is contentious, but a level of disrespect of we don't need to throw the ball to win this game. We're perfectly fine with our 5 or 6 chunk plays on the ground. Either way, not a ton of pass attempts for the Irish tonight. I say that, 16-mile-an-hour winds constant here at Bob Tully Field. 31-mile-an-hour gusts.
And this is a physical running football team, too, Jimmy. This isn't Brebeuf, who we saw 2 weeks ago, that just wants to throw it 50 times a game. They want to run the ball.
But the flag in the south end zone is getting every bit of that 16-mile-an-hour wind gust. Handoff up the middle and a tackle from behind made by the Royals after a gain of about 3. 3rd and 5, maybe 3rd and 6. Upcoming for the Irish from the Roncalli 30.
Good penetration. That had a draw feel to it there where they let the Roncalli defenders rush upfield, but they did a good job settling and retreating to the ball.
Stack in the slot on the left side. One wide receiver out far left, one to the right. O'Neal, deep shot, incomplete. He went down the right sideline. Only a paw was able to be put on that football by Albrin Johnson, and it's 4th down. So the Irish are unable to get anything going offensively that drive. Give credit to the Royals defense. They are giving opportunities to Roncalli, but Dan, the most frustrating thing that you'll take away from this first half, and I know we'll get into it during the halftime show, but is this should be a much closer game than it is if you take away the Royals' self-inflicted wounds.
The Roncalli defense has overall played pretty solid. They've held their own, especially in the passing game.
Punt is away. It's a spinning top spiral that's fair caught at the 44-yard line by Sam Rader. So the Royals offense will have 3:23 to play with. We'll have it 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line, their own 33. Irish lead it 21-0. What's the messaging out of the huddle for the Roncalli offense with 3:23 to play, down 3 scores?
Yeah, I mean, it's look, guys, we've moved the ball. We've found a little momentum offensively. This is our chance to get back in the game. As you mentioned, Jimmy, the defense has played pretty well. They've obviously given up a lot of yards on the ground, especially to the quarterback, which you don't like. But they're keeping you in this game, so you gotta reciprocate here and try to get some points on the board, knowing you're getting the ball out of the half as well.
One wide receiver to the left, one to the right. That's right, a double dip opportunity potentially for the Royals. Handoff, Dozier, left to right goes that handoff. It goes somewhere. And by somewhere, I mean instead of nowhere, he's able to pick up 2.
It's tough adjusting because last year you have one of the greatest offensive lines in the history of Roncalli High School, and you are easily able to run against no matter what type of front a defense throws at you.
As well as one of arguably the best running backs in Roncalli High School. I know that was yin and yang from those two, but...
And it's just, so you're used to being able to run against a bare front like this. It's going to be really hard to do it this year with the inexperience that we have, and it's been really hard so far.
2nd and 8. One wide receiver to the left, one to the right from their own 35-yard line. Ash fakes the handoff. Irish are upon him, and he's sacked. 3 Irishmen there to make the sack. It'll be a loss of nearly 7 and set up 3rd and long.
Yeah, and again, what can you find to loosen up this defense? Because right now, Cathedral's just pinning their ears back, both in the run game and in the pass game, and just saying, we're going to just bring everybody to the line of scrimmage, and if you want to keep running inside zone, outside zone for 1 or 2 yards, that's fine. And if you want to try to sit in the pocket and complete balls downfield, that's fine. So you got to find a way, whether it's running the quarterback, the screen game, the spot pass to Shutley that we saw earlier, something like that to loosen them up we need right now.
2 wide receivers to the left and 2 to the right. Ash, lofts, downfield. Elsner picked off and intercepted. Irish have it at the 40, to the 35-30, down the sideline to the 20, for they're finally forced out of bounds.
And that's not it. You're not going to beat this Cathedral team on 3rd and 10 going with 4 verticals.
Aiden Chase with the interception.
It's just and that's why I mentioned, Jimmy, you got to execute on 1st and 2nd down to keep yourself from getting in that position. And right now, Cathedral saying if you want to execute on 1st and 2nd down, you're going to have to throw the ball or run the quarterback. You're going to have to get creative. You can't just stick to your normal power running game, your counter running game, or your spot passes that Colin Ash is really used to hitting, or that play action with Charlie Elsner. They're taking all that away, so you got to get creative offensively with how you're going to move
Chase
the ball.
stepped out of the 24, 1st and 10 for the 24. Give us to Bond. Royal defense is there. Bond fights through it, and he'll be swallowed up for a loss of 3. Clock ticks. 1:35 to play in the second quarter. Irish lead it 21-0.
And Jimmy, I got to call out the effort defensively right now. I mean, leaps and bounds better than what we saw last week. And
Agreed.
Another great job there by the Royal defense to stretch that outside zone play out all the way to the sideline.
3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. O'Neal, 2-step drop, takes a shot, downfield, has a man, caught at the 10-5. Let's see the signal. Did he get out at the 1 or is it a touchdown? They're going to say he stepped out at the 1,
he
but the
signaled.
reception is made.
Yeah, the referee in the middle of the field signaled touchdown.
Okay, so no longer the sideline judge who is there to make the play, his responsibility to make that call. It is a touchdown for the Irish. No opportunity for a defensive stand. Blink of an eye, touchdown reception is made by Devon Slaughter, and an extra point away from making this a 28-0 ball game with 69 seconds to play in the half. And the PAT is good. 1:09 to play. Irish once again capitalize on great field position from a Roncalli turnover. They lead it 28-0. Back in a moment. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk and Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
1:09 to play in this first half. A rivalry renewed, but it's been one-sided through a half of football. Irish lead at 28-0. Get set to kick it away. After an impressive drive, leads to a touchdown. It'll make it all the way to the end zone for a touchback. 2 plays, 24 yards, 37 seconds, a 27-yard touchdown pass to Devon Slaughter from Danny O'Neal has made it 28-0. Where do you go from a play calling standpoint in effectively a less than 2-minute drill, knowing you get the ball to start the second half, despite the fact that it's a 4-score deficit, Dan?
Yeah, you just got to find a way to get a little more creative than what we've shown so far. If they're going to show a bare front every single time on first down, you're going to have to find a way to loosen that up. Like I said, the screen game, the perimeter spot throws. Again, those Cathedral corners will back off quite a bit when they're not in man coverage. So just finding a way to get the ball to the perimeter on first and second down. When you get yourself in 3rd and 10, that's when Roncalli really struggles.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff, Brandenburg, he stood up. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and I think the Royals might be content to take this one to the locker room, a little inside zone run, but again, it's going right into the teeth of that Irish defense. not going to get much there. Especially with the way Cathedral plays this defense, that free safety. Typically, you think free safety, you think rangy, playing the pass first, and being a cleanup player in the run game. But the way Adam Barth calls this defense, he's going to be the leading tackler on this defense for the year.
Be 2nd and 10 from their own 20. Ash going to take a shot deep downfield, and this just shows how the night's going for Cathedral. It's caught by one of their coaching staff members. They celebrate. That didn't count for anything. It's caught on the sideline. He's not an active player, but hey, good for him.
Yeah.
So 3rd and 10.
And again, it's going to be tough to throw vertically on the sidelines against this Cathedral defense because they play those corners. Again, they're always, every single year, they've got long, rangy corners that are more like safeties than anything, and they got on top of that route quick.
3rd and 10. Handoff. Dozier, he goes nowhere. He's stopped. No gain on the play. And the Irish, at least in terms of, and I don't know, maybe I'm giving too much credit here, Dan. Peak of this rivalry, the peak pettiness of this rivalry, you take all 3 throughout this drive and don't let it get wound down and let yourself potentially get into running clock territory. They don't do that. Again, I understand the bar is so low with where the mutual respect is between these two programs, but that's at least noteworthy to some extent.
And we don't want that, right? Like, if you're Roncalli, you don't want Cathedral to lay over and say, we'll take it easy on you guys.
Right,
you know, I'm very shocked that Bill Peebles didn't call timeouts there, especially when you would have had Roncalli punting into the wind there.
Yep. Well, either way, Coach Peebles and company have plenty to be happy about on the Cathedral side and plenty to work over on the Roncalli side of things. As you look, we'll get into this during halftime, I understand that, but we've talked about how this season, and it's frustrating. I get it. It's frustrating for the players, frustrating for the fans, frustrating for the coaching staff, but at some point you forget about where the scoreboard is and you focus on getting better, possession by possession, not quitting on series, which, again, it felt like with as being as kind as possible, Dan, there were effort issues at times in the back half of that Louisville Mail game.
Yes.
That was evident on film. That was evident live. You don't want that to happen here, especially in a rivalry game, because it can get relatively ugly. But bigger picture, where is the balance between being a little bit more creative and taking a bit more chances versus the development of the program as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've probably been overly critical tonight of the lack of creativity offensively because, like, I've coached teams like this that are inexperienced, and you're really limited with what you can do because they just haven't been here a long time, and you came into the season expecting your quarterback to be the JV quarterback. And so it could be a situation like that where you're really just limited in what you can do. At the same time, though, you want to be competitive and try to grow a little bit every week. The one thing I will say is tonight the effort level has been much higher than what we saw.
Off the charts, especially on defense.
Defensively, yes. I mean, you got the block punt for a touchdown, and then again, your offense isn't moving the ball much, so you're on the field a lot. So even though they've given up 28 points and a lot of yards rushing, the effort has been there defensively, and you can live with that, and you can grow from that.
That's an improvement point. Again, we mentioned it. There was times, whether it's the bus ride, whatever the case was, there were times where it didn't feel like 110% was out on the field for the entirety of that Louisville Mail game. That's never been in question once tonight for Roncalli. The only step back has been, though, like you mentioned, it's a tough schedule. It's a tough schedule for a reason, but the Royals find themselves in another hole as you head to the intermission. We'll have a great halftime show for you. We'll get a look at all the first half numbers on both the Irish and Roncalli side of things. We'll also have Dan's keys to the second half and more when we return. But at the intermission, as both teams head to the dressing rooms, Cathedral leads your Royals 28-0. The halftime show is next on the Roncalli Media Network.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Anne & Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Anne & Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Anne & Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Anne & Bartram, 317-889-9574. Hey, maybe the summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com. Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in Central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field on the campus of Roncalli High School. With Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Again, thank you so much for spending part of your Friday night with us here on RMN. The halftime show is on at the intermission. Cathedral leading your Royals 28-0. Time to look at the first half stats. Brought to you, of course, by the talented Matt Heinekamp. Did a great job for us, as he's done all season long. Dan, I'll let you have the opening say. What jumps out at you the most when you look at how things went down from a box score standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, the most surprising thing, and I guess it's not that surprising considering the win, but Roncalli's defense has really done a great job keeping Danny O'Neill from hitting those explosive plays that have really hurt us the past 2 weeks. He's only 2 for 9, 29 yards. He obviously hit the big play there towards the end of the half, but you know he's going to hit 1 or 2 of those. If you can limit everything else, you feel pretty good. So I think defensively, we've been good on the back end. It's been tough to stop their running game. It's going to be tough because they're big and physical up front. What you really need to do a better job of defensively in their running game is stopping Danny O'Neill on those pulls, because it's looked like we just have been out of position when he pulls that ball, and you got to expect him to. And then offensively for the Royals, if you look at first and second down, so currently we've run 10 plays on first down with a 1.4 yardage average, 9 plays on second down with a 0.9 yardage average. So again, last year you're able to run whatever play you want on first down, power, counter, outside zone, inside zone, and expect to average 5 yards a carry with Luke Hansen and that historic offensive line. You can't do it this year, and it's going to be really tough sledding on that first and second down if you're not willing to go away from that type of script when a team like Cathedral is committing 5 guys at the line of scrimmage.
Where is the line? And I asked you this a little bit before we went to break, but where is the line between abandoning the run to try to make some noise in this game versus utilizing the run still as a tool of knowing this is Roncalli football, This is a 6A opponent. This is a physical opponent. It's going to make us better if we continue to try to pound the rock in terms of the long term of where we're looking at next week against East Central and then whatever they draw in the sectional.
Yeah, I don't think it's in abandoning the run, Jimmy, and that's not what I'm saying. It's just one or two plays where you can get Cathedral to back off. That's all it takes, right? Just loosen them up some way. We saw that a little bit last year. If you think back to last year, Eric Moyers at quarterback had a really fine year. When he really started to take a step forward is when they let him start running the ball on those QB read options, and he was able to hit a few explosive plays downfield in the passing game. When you do that, the defensive coordinator on the opposing sideline, his mind completely switches to, okay, we got to stop running this bear front because they can beat us downfield. So I think you gotta help your running game by breaking tendencies and finding a way to loosen up their defense just a little bit, and then get back to the running game, which is your bread and butter.
For Cathedral, is there anything to this point that you would change? I mean, we joked about the fact that they have the ability to run or to pass the ball, rather. They've not done so tonight, maybe in part because of the conditions, but I'd argue in part because Roncalli hasn't done a ton to stop them so far. Where do you go if you're the Irish?
Yeah, I think for them, the physical running game has worked, and they've been able to, sustain drives down the field with that running game. I think they're happy with Danny O'Neill running the football and Jalen Bonds being the physical counterpart to that. So I would expect a lot of that here in the second half. If I'm Roncalli defensively, I'm committing as many guys to the line of scrimmage to stop the running game as possible. And if Danny O'Neill beats you over the top, so be it. We're already down 28-0. You don't want him to. What you don't want to see is drives of 15 plays where they're just hammering you in the mouth because you're not willing to get out of your base defense.
At the intermission, Cathedral leads Roncalli 28-0. We are going to step out for 3 minutes. Be back after that. We'll have one more commercial break we will take as well. As always, they usually add about 3.5 on top of the normal countdown in the halftime break. So we'll take our second to last break here. We'll take a break of about 3.5 and be back after this. Again at the break, Cathedral leads 28-0.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk and Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort. And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season. That's why right now, when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free. That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free. And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed. Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
When looking for reliable HVAC professionals, look no further than Anne and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Anne and Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Anne and Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Anne and Bartram, 317-889-9574.
Welcome back to the halftime show on the Roncalli Media Network with Dan Lauk. I am Jimmy Cook. Irish on top 28-0. Reminder for everybody, as well as a conversation point here for us, Dan. It's crazy to think about, but if the wind at 16 miles an hour is not enough of a jolt to let you know that fall has arrived, if playoff baseball is not enough to let you know that fall has arrived, the sectional pairing show is this Sunday as the Royals await to find out what the dance card holds for them in the postseason.
Yeah, it feels like this season has flown by, and maybe that's the weather staying, warm into September longer than usual. But yeah, the pairing show coming right up, and it's going to be a big deal for Roncalli. We've talked about it all year. These last three games against Mail, Cathedral, and East Central, those are three of the best teams in the Midwest. But when you get your sectional draw, you hope that Roncalli gets a favorable draw and that potential rematch with Brebeuf. Yep. Which I think, you look at the first score and you think, do they even have a shot against Brebeuf? I really feel like that game can go differently depending on the game plan of the Royals. So hopefully we get that second shot at the Braves.
Yeah, we mentioned it. We'll talk about that a little bit as we get closer. But if you dictate the terms of that game better and establish yourselves better instead of Brebeuf being able to get out to that big lead, I'm with you, Dan. That very well could have been a different ball game. So get and check ihsaa.org for more information on that, as Bob Lovell and Paul Condry will host the pairing show for sectionals across the state of Indiana. It's crazy to think, but yeah, we're 2 weeks away from the start of postseason football across this great state of Indiana. And for the Royals, a lot of it will come down to where the draw goes. All you hope, though, is the tough schedule, as I told Coach in our conversation before the game, the tough schedule is supposed to harden your group and sharpen them to a point that they're ready to attack the postseason. What you don't want to have happen is have the tough schedule break you. That is the main goal, is surviving this gauntlet.
Yes, if you can do that, you're going to go into the playoffs as a 4A team with likely the most difficult schedule. You talk about teams like East Central, who we'll see in the last game of the season. They play a tough game early in Moeller, and Batesville's usually decent, but they don't see this consistent week after week competition that Roncalli's seeing right now. But you're exactly right, Jimmy. You got to make something out of it. You can't let it break your confidence, and you got to come out of it healthy. And so far, the Royals are fairly healthy, so that's a good sign.
We're going to take our final break of the halftime show. We will step out for 2.5 and be back moments from the second half kickoff, which, of course, the Royals will receive. At the intermission, the 6th-ranked Cathedral Irish 28, the Royals scoreless, but are hoping to change that when they receive the ball to start the second half on the Roncalli Media Network.
Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless. We are experts. We are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals! Hey, maybe the summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Turn it on.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field with Dan Lauk. I am Jimmy Cook. Irish lead it at the break, 28-0. We'll look ahead to the rest of the schedule for the Royals. We mentioned it last week. We'll say it again. Doesn't get any easier. Top-ranked team in the state next week in East Central comes to town. It's going to be a tough task. I mean, across the board. This game's obviously not done, but you need to once again evaluate yourselves from a top opponent transitioning to a top opponent.
Yeah, and that game's here, so that always helps because the travel out to East St. Leon is never fun.
No.
But you talk about a team in East Central, defending state champions, beat a really good Roncalli team last year, and they brought a lot of returning starters back, including a Mr. Football candidate and Josh Ringer at running back. So it's going to be another tough test for the Royals. Around campus, Jimmy, I know you're calling the boys sectional soccer game tomorrow. It's that time of year, not just in football, but across the fall sports at Roncalli. I know the volleyball team's having a great year. Both soccer programs having a great year. So it's bleak tonight for the football program, but it's not bleak across all sports at Roncalli, and that's a good sign.
Royals will receive the ball to start the second half. It'll be Morelli and Shutley back deep to receive. The wind knocked the ball off the tee, and so we're going to have to transition right back to where this whole game was, which is with a holder. And that's an extra layer of drama. Unnecessarily so, but hey, Mother Nature doesn't always cooperate. Temperature was 59 degrees to open, 56 degrees now. And that kick will go into the end zone for a touchback. So Roncalli will start from the 20-yard line. First look at the Roncalli offense in this second half. For the Royals, from an offensive standpoint, 20 rushing attempts for 25 yards. 2 passes for 19 yards to the air. Cathedral made life difficult in that first half. Royals hoping for better results here. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 20 and an official's timeout as it appears that the chain gang is having a malfunction.
I was listening to a podcast earlier this week, Jimmy, and they talked about using chains for football might be the most archaic thing in sports.
It's definitively the most archaic thing in sports.
Oh, man.
Like, even people want to point fun to, like, professional soccer, like, they have a video assistant referee. And granted, that gets controversy every now and again. Some very topical controversy a week ago in the Premier League. But we won't get into that point just yet.
That's my team.
Was it indeed? So you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so Liverpool has a goal scored that is called offsides. They check for VAR, and they give the wrong decision to the officials. No goal happens. Liverpool winds up losing. 1st and 10 from the 20. Plenty of conversations like that might ensue here in this second half. It's a screen pass to the right, and it'll be a gain of 5 and a late hit out of bounds. That'll get the Royals sideline, I beg your pardon, going as Zach Dozier got a little extra hit committed against him. Bump it up.
Love the opening play call, though, Jimmy. We talked about loosening that front. So on first down, they come out with a swing pass to Zach Dozier, and that's exactly the type of play that you need to get Cathedral's defenders to stop just being so aggressive up front and to potentially get them back into that 3-3 stack, which is going to be a little bit more manageable to run against. So this is the type of situation where Adam Barth on that sideline starts to think, okay, if they are going to loosen it up, maybe we can't commit 5 to the line of scrimmage every play and might have to drop off, and that opens your run game.
It's still very windy, though, it should be noted. About 15 miles an hour. The American flag still breathing strongly with that wind. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. It's a man in motion. Shutley, pitch pass, got a block, passes the initial line of scrimmage, and gains 3.
Yeah, I like that play call as well. So that's the rocket sweep. We've seen Roncalli use that rocket motion, which means they're bringing, in that time, Shutley behind the quarterback and the running back in the backfield. It's not the typical jet motion across their face. He comes behind the formation. They flip it out to him in space, and he ends up finding 3 or 4 there. They've shown that motion, Jimmy, but they haven't run the actual rocket sweep yet. They've run a lot of play action or inside zone off of it.
2nd and 7 from the Roncalli 47. Irish lead at 28-0. This is the opening drive of the second half. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. They put Dozier in motion. He's there as a check down. Pressure comes, flags fly, it'll be a hold, and Ash is sacked.
Yeah, you get the hold and the sack, and that's just Cathedral being a really good football team and getting a lot of pressure on your quarterback. But the play call there I like. So they send the exit motion, which means you're motioning your running back out into the flat pre-snap. Ends up being an empty formation, and if you saw downfield, they were trying to set up a little spot pass to Charlie Elsner in the middle of the field, and it potentially could have been completed, but unfortunately Cathedral, staying aggressive up front, was able to get enough penetration to make Colin uncomfortable.
Penalty was declined because the sack marked a loss of 6, so 3rd and 14 from the Roncalli 40. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Ash has Dozier to his left side. He'll take the snap. 3-step drop, pressure there, fires over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Charlie Elsner. The throw was to the 42-yard line, or make it the, 37-yard line, which would have been right at the initial line of scrimmage prior to the sack. So the Royals will be forced to punt.
But you understand what they're trying to do there. So Roncalli sends the other 3 receivers vertical, hoping to draw the Cathedral defenders down the field with them. That play needed another second of protection, and Elsner may have opened up in the flat there.
Whistler trying to boot it away. Lockhart stands deep, and the wind's going to scoop that thing out. There's a flag near the area, potentially roughing the punter. Let's see what happens. It's down to the 32 of Cathedral. It is a personal foul. It is roughing the punter.
Yeah, and that'll be a first down because in high school football, it's not an automatic first down, but that was 4th and 14, not 4th and 15. So that should be a 15-yard penalty and give Roncalli a fresh set of downs in positive territory.
And it will indeed move those chains. So the 15-yard penalty gives a first down to the Royals. They're huddled up on the sidelines. They try to regroup for a second. And now we're set to head back onto the field.
That penalty results in a Royal first down.
Again, you get the negative play on the sack, but I like how creative Roncalli is getting offensively here and showing that they can get away from just running inside zone, outside zone, and power.
2 wide receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Ash in the gun. Dozier is his tailback. High snap. Give. Dozier left side. Loss of 2.
And again, that one's not – I like that call as well. Again, I keep saying I like that call and we're losing yardage, but – that was a delayed handoff, supposed to be sort of a misdirection to hopefully you get Cathedral flying upfield too fast and find a little seam. But the Irish did a good job staying home on that weak side to clean it up.
Ash looks over at the coaching staff. It'll be Morelli and Sweezy to the right. Shutley to the left. Dozier is his tailback. 2nd and 12. From the Cathedral 47. Irish lead at 28-0, 9:35 to play, 3rd quarter. Ash, 2-step drop, quick throw in the dirt. He was looking for Morelli, but the pass was at his shoes, 3rd down.
Yeah, and might have had him there just a little bit. Again, the pressure getting in his face quickly, so he's a little off balance when he throws that. And I'd like to see Dominic Morelli settle in that zone and start to work out a bit. He settled in his zone and ran the route perfectly as you're taught. But once that route's done, and you see your guy Travis Kelce do this all the time,
oh, yeah.
Find the little extra space in the zone to give yourself a better chance.
Yep, one of the very best in the game at being able to just find those holes, just sit there and be ready to receive. 3rd and 12 from the Cathedral 47. One wide receiver to the left and 2 to the right. Ash, pressure's on him, he's sacked. Didn't have a prayer. The Irish brought the pressure. It's a loss of at least 8, and Roncalli will be forced to punt.
And that's been the game plan for the Irish all night. Stuff the Roncalli running game on a couple plays there. Get them into 3rd and 10, pin your ears back. They're not dropping in coverage. They're bringing as much pressure as they possibly can and getting to the young quarterback quickly every time.
Called a loss of 11, 4th and 23. Roncalli now at their own 42. And Lockhart stands at the 25-yard line. Whistler gets a clean snap, punts it away, and once again the wind is going to take this, takes a neutral bounce, and is down at the Cathedral 45-yard line. 8:44 to play in this third quarter. Cathedral 28, Roncalli nothing. Irish going for, we know where the game is, but an effective in today's high school game, dagger looking for a running clock touchdown. But the Roncalli defense trying to show their resolve as they have played, again, even with the points they've given up, exceptionally well tonight. Handoff up the middle, Bond to midfield, lowers the shoulder, spins, turns, and he'll nearly have the first down. They let that play continue. It'll be a gain of 9, 2nd and 1.
Again, I think I mentioned it earlier, but Bonds looks good on film. But on film, I thought he was more of a breakaway type player. But, man, he is a physical running back. Roncalli defensive line, especially Sam New, did a good job there throttling down and almost made the play, but couldn't quite get his hands on him.
Play action, screen pass, risky, and it's lit up. Lit up with effective insanity by Parker Doherty.
My goodness, great technique from Parker Doherty. He gets off his block initially. I think Danny O'Neill would have liked to get that ball out there a little quicker. Parker's right there, lowers his shoulder, doesn't lead with his head, hits the receiver right in the ribs.
Devon Slaughter is hobbling.
Yeah, I think anybody would be after that hit. That was a heck of a hit by Parker Doherty and brings up a big third down play here.
Well, and I don't know if it was the wind or what, but you're right. O'Neill wanted to get rid of it quicker, but it almost floated on him a bit.
It did, yeah, and it caused the receiver to have to get his hands up in the air, expose those ribs, and that can be a dangerous hit. But again, Parker did perfectly there to lead with his shoulder. Nice, clean hit.
2 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. 3rd and 4 from the Roncalli 49. Handoff, Bond has the first down.
And he just doesn't go down easy. And
he got an extra 6 yards as well. The reason I trailed off there for a second, Dan, was I thought the play was over, but that's not the case with Bond. He carries the tacklers again about another 4 yards.
Yeah, you're going to need a couple red shirts on him to get him down, especially when you consider he's got the big Zach Meeks, 6'7", 230-pound tight end, leading the way on that power for him. That's tough.
Just from a health standpoint, Slaughter is back out there for the Irish. They stack the slot, a wide receiver on either side. Handoff Bond. He's got running room to the 30. 25 makes a man miss to the 20. Lower the shoulder to the 15. And finally forced out of bounds at the 13-yard line. A 26-yard carry for Bond. And it will set up 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line.
Yeah, pretty big hole there from the Irish offensive line. It hasn't been like that all night. Bonds has really had a lot of yards after contact. That time, he really, a truck could have ran through that hole.
A stacked formation in the slot, 1 wide receiver to the left, 1 to the right. They'll say he stepped out at the 17, so 1st and 10 from the 17. Keeper, O'Neill, keeps going. Truck stick to the 10. A gain of 7, 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and it's a positive gain for Cathedral, but I like the execution of the Roncalli defense. Danny O'Neill pulls it that time, and in the first half, we didn't have a player dedicated to him running the ball, that hang player that you want in the read option. That time, A.J. Richardson did a good job to stop it. Would like to see him get more aggressive, meet him at the line of scrimmage instead of 4 or 5 yards downfield. But either way, the scheme was sound.
One wide receiver to the left and one to the right. Handoff, left side. Royals swallow it up. That handoff was to the backup tailback in Colin Avers, and it'll set up 3rd and 4, loss of 1.
And again, Zane Baker in there on the tackle. I want people to understand how many young kids are playing right now that, you see a lot of sophomores. Unfortunately, there's an injured Royal on the field, but you got a lot of sophomores getting a lot of experience in a high-intensity game against a really good opponent. That's going to pay off a year, 2 years down the road for this program.
It'll be an officials timeout, an injury timeout. We will step aside. We will take a break for 30 seconds as they evaluate the injury and proceed from there. 6:14 to play in this third quarter. Irish 28, Roncalli nothing. Big 3rd and 4 for Cathedral when we come back. .6:14 to play in this third quarter. It's a 3rd and 4 for the Irish. Stacked in the slot, one wide receiver to the right, one to the left. O'Neal looking, pressure's there. He's going to tuck it and run. Greengrass in front of him. He dives. Touchdown, Irish. Well, they're going to say he stepped out at the 1, but they're going to have a conference about it. And they'll say he stepped out at the 1. Either way, it's enough to move the chains. 1st and goal from the 1 for Cathedral. They hurry to the line. O'Neal, QB sneak, dives forward, touchdown.
Yeah, the old tush push. We've been seeing that from the Philadelphia Eagles at the NFL level. It's really hard to stop. Used to be an illegal play, but you're allowed to push your ball carrier now. Really tough there. We've called Cole Kessler's name a lot tonight. He's having a good game. That time he peeked inside a little bit too early, and when you do that against a mobile quarterback like Danny O'Neal, he's going to make you pay, and he did so there.
Irish will attempt the point after try. Good snap, good hold. Kick is good, and we've reached that territory. It's now 35-0 in favor of Cathedral. Roncalli once again on the wrong side of a running clock. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll have more as Roncalli looks to put together a scoring drive. 6:03 to play. Irish 35, Roncalli nothing on the Roncalli Media Network.
Is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
6:03 to play in this third quarter. Running clock achieved by the Irish. They lead at 35-0 off an 8-play, 55-yard drive. It took 2 minutes and 41 seconds. A 1-yard touchdown run by Danny O'Neal, the icing on the cake. Shutley and Rader back deep to receive, but with wins like this, it won't matter. It's a touchback.
I think I could fly in this one, Jimmy. Maybe not now. But when I was a 150-pound sophomore, maybe. Jimmy, we I don't know what.
Are we taking like a paper aircraft like the Wright brothers? Or are you just going to jump off,
I just think
like a 2-story building and try to just glide?
Yeah, I think I could. It looks really strong.
I mean, we can find you one of those flying squirrel suits if you want. You can give it a go. It's up to you. I don't know what the highest point is on the campus of Roncalli. To try such a physical stunt.
We're probably there, top of the press box, I'd imagine.
Auditorium, gymnasium?
Yeah, maybe the auditorium.
Maybe? Yeah. In the gun. Ash, handoff, Dozier, he'll lower the shoulder and pick up 3.
Good run from Zach there. And we talked about the last time these teams have met in the regular season, I believe it was 2010, Jimmy. But there has been meetings here more recently. In 2017 and 2018, these two met in sectional play. 2017 in particular was a classic that unfortunately Roncalli came up just short of, was ranked number 1 in 5A. That was when we were bumped up for the success factor. A showdown at Tech High School against Cathedral, which I was on the coaching staff for at that point. Came up just short, but it was a classic.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right on this 2nd and 6 from the 24. High snap, give, Dozier lowers the shoulder, and he'll gain about a yard, maybe 2.
And this is the growing area for Zach as a sophomore. You got to know what play is called from a schematic standpoint. So that time Roncalli calls power, where they bring the pulling guard as well as Charlie Elsner, the H-back, across the formation. When you're running inside zone, that cutback is part of how you're designing the run.
Right.
When you're running power football, you really have to hit the gap that it's designed to hit. And if you try to cut back, you're just cutting back to where your guard has already vacated. There's never going to be anything there.
2 wide receivers to the left side, 1 to the right on this 3rd and 5 from their own 25. Ash, 2-step drop, throws near the sticks. It's caught by Guthrie. He'll have the first down, and then a little bit more. They'll call it a nice gain all the way out to the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 Royals.
Yeah, really nice throw there from the sophomore, and a nice hands catch from James Guthrie to pick up the first down, especially considering the Royals are going into the wind right now.
Ash looks to the sideline. Guthrie and Sweezy out to the right, Shutley to the left. Dozier's the tailback as they operate in the shotgun. 1st and 10 from their own 33. Irish lead at 35-0, 3:10 to play in this 3rd quarter. Ash, no step drop, just a quick snap in the gun right to Elsner out in the flat for 4. He goes out of bounds right there at the 37-yard line. 2nd down.
And Cathedral's got a lot of second-team players in there right now, and you may be looking at it like, oh, what's this worth? But when you think about the youth that Roncalli has, this is next year's game, right? So it's not like our players are gone after this year, and Cathedral has a lot of experience that will be gone. So these plays matter too.
2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left on this 2nd and 6. From the Roncalli 37, 3-step drop, pressure's there. Ash rolls, throws on the run. It's caught by Shutley at the 45, out to the 50. He'll move those chains. An impressive throw, cross-body on the run by Colin Ash. Shutley the reception, and a first down for the Royals.
Just a really impressive throw there from the sophomore. He's retreating away from Shutley. Shutley does a nice job redirecting his route, and Colin just throws a dart in there for the first down.
1 wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right. 1st and 10 from the 49 of Cathedral. Ash in the gun. Handoff Dozier. Up the middle. Bounces off a tackler. He'll pick up about 3.
And that's what we talk about in the zone running game. So Zach cuts back there. That's designed, right? The whole point in zone blocking is that the seam, you don't know exactly where the seam will open up. It depends on where the defense flows. The cutback sometimes is there, and it was that time. Zach picks up a nice 3-yard gain.
Ash once again looks the sideline for direction. Shutley to the right, Guthrie and Sweezy to the left. Dozier once again the tailback, Elsner in the slot. 2nd and 7 from the Cathedral 46. They send Elsner in motion. 1:20 to play 3rd quarter. Irish lead at 35-0. Ash, high snap, give, Dozier to the left side. Tried to cut back upfield and could not, but he was able to pick up about 3 on the play. It'll set up 3rd and 4.
Good physical block there on the edge by Elsner. I really think he needs to be considered for the Indy Star Super Team this year because he's been so valuable for this offense. I know we haven't been able to put up a lot of points these past few weeks, but the success that we've had usually centers around him in the running game, blocking, and then also in the play-action passing game.
3rd and 5 from the 44. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Ash, quick throw, Elsner. It's picked off. Is it picked off or did it hit the dirt? Let's see. It is called incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, pretty good job by that Cathedral defender. Charlie was able to get his hands on it for a half a second, but the Cathedral defender got in there and put his shoulder right on where the ball was.
And we have an injured Royal near the Cathedral sideline. So we'll take a break while they attend to that. 23 seconds to play in this 3rd quarter. We will step aside for 1 minute. Irish lead at 35-0. 4th and 5 for the Royals when we come back.
Lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
"23 seconds to play in this third quarter. Irish on top of your Royals, 35-0. Running clock is activated.
You see Charlie Elsner going to the
I was going to
sideline
ask you
there,
if
yeah.
Elsner was, we couldn't see it from our vantage point, but you saw him walk off. Elsner was the injured Royal there.
Yeah, he's hobbling a little bit. You hope he's okay because he was able to walk off that, and hopefully it's just something like cramps.
Two wide receivers to the left, one to the right. Royals will go for it. 4th and 5 on the Cathedral 44. The play clock reads 2, reads 1, and the Royals were just trying to draw them off / to end the quarter. We'll head to the final quarter of play. 35-0. Advantage Cathedral. 4th and 5 upcoming for Roncalli as we enter the 4th on the Roncalli Media Network.
Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in Central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at indyteledata.com. Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk and Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. Royals go for it on 4th and 5 as we were away. That pass falls, was caught, I beg your pardon, but doesn't get enough to move those chains. So it'll be a turnover on downs and a 1st and 10 for Cathedral. With Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Clock continues to run as running clock has been activated. Irish able to do that in the third quarter with our score at 35-0. Cathedral, it appears
They've been in good field position all night, Jimmy.
with still their starters out there. Handoff up the middle. I'm going to go for a couple.
Looks like a new quarterback.
I was going to say, I couldn't tell. Their jersey was kind of scrunched up, but it is indeed a new quarterback out there.
Looks like Cameron Coors, the sophomore.
So Cameron Coors will get the nod. Handoff, right side, find space at a 50, all the way to the 45. And it'll be a 1st down for the Irish.
Robert Hauser's name being called. I was really impressed with how he finished the game last week down in Louisville. So glad to see him get some more playing time here at the end of this game.
1st and 10 from the Roncalli 44. Low snap, handoff, and that'll go to about the 40. Jimmy Papa's the tailback, but a flag does fly in the area of holding. It is indeed holding on the Irish. That'll bump things back. Well, from your observations, Dan, last week it felt like the effort died around this portion of the game. You can make an argument maybe late stage of the third quarter. How important is it, again, at this stage, you throw out the scoreboard, you're just playing to get better. How important is it for that effort to be on display here?
Yeah, I mean, it's crucially important, especially against a rival like Cathedral. But, You just try to take little steps every single week to get better, especially these young sophomores.
Handoff to Pappas, makes one man miss to the 50. 45 has a hold of the 40. 35-30, one man to beat, and it is an open space tackle from behind made by Alex Winchester, but not before Pappas is able to take it all the way to about the 15-yard line. Irish inside the red zone.
And good effort there by Alex Winchester coming over from that safety spot to chase that down, because I thought for a while there Pappas might be sniffing the end zone.
1st and 10, right at the 20, they'll say that tackle was made. Handoff, Pappas again looking for a hole, and he'll get all the way to the 15. Although actually say he was stopped just short of that mark, so about the 13-yard line it appears. Let's see where they mark this. Or correction, the 23-yard line, beg your pardon. They'll call it 2nd and 8. Handoff. Once again, Pappas, full head of steam, breaks a tackle, cuts back upfield to the 10, all the way to the 5-yard line.
Not sure if there's a relation there or not, but Chittard had a running back in my good old days of playing, Jimmy, named Aristotle Pappas, and he was a fantastic running back, big, strong legs. I believe he was the career rushing leader for Chittard for quite some time as well. So curious if there's a relationship.
Back when you guys had landlines, is that when that was? 2 wide receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Handoff to Pappas, and he'll dive into the end zone for a touchdown to make it 41-0. See, you and I don't have that age gap that myself and the great Dan Bauer had, so I can't make jokes about like color TVs being around because you had that, and I can't make high definition jokes because you had that. But your family probably still used a landline. Is that safe to assume around then?
Probably.
I know mine did. I don't know if yours did.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm old enough to remember dial-up internet at least.
That's big. That's big for you. You know how to work a fax machine? You got that going for you.
No.
You're good.
No. My mom probably handled that.
Irish on for a point after try. Wind blowing right at him. Still able to get it up and over to the crossbar to make it 42-0. Advantage Cathedral with 7:31 to play in this ball game. We'll step aside and be back on the Roncalli Media Network.
Looking for reliable HVAC professionals? Look no further than Ane and Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane and Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane and Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane and Bartram, 317-889-9574.
7:31 to play in this ball game. All Irish, 42-0. They lead it as we await the Irish to boot this away. Sam Rader, Dominic Morelli back deep to receive. Make it correction, Dominic Morelli and Rudy Shutley back deep to receive. Wind still blowing directly into the special teams unit of Cathedral. It has calmed down considerably, though. That's going to take a bounce to the 10. Morelli's going to scoop it up at the 5. Out to the 10, now to the 15, goes right to left to the 20, and he's finally brought down. Dan, what do you want to see from the Roncalli offense this possession?
Yeah, I mean, a little more rhythm, Jimmy. I think you got to find a way to, at this point with the game out of reach and the running clock, really all you're trying to do is try to execute as efficiently as you possibly can, get some more stuff on film that you can teach in the morning tomorrow, and obviously stay healthy to make sure going into your final game of the season you're okay, and then obviously heading into the sectional play. But, you're not trying to fire the ball downfield by any means here. It's just execute as best as you can, keep taking those baby steps to get better. A lot of sophomores and juniors out there, so every play matters.
2 wide receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Handoff. A little stutter step there by Benich. Make it Dozier, I beg your pardon. And he punches the turf in frustration. He was a shoestring tackle away from potentially getting a big gainer.
Yeah, but you talk about the effort, Jimmy. Great run there by Zach and pretty good blocking up front from the offensive line. Zach made a few jump cuts at the second level and, as you mentioned, was really close to breaking that, and he's got the speed to take it all the way.
Called a gain of 4, 2nd and 6 from the Roncalli 19. 2 wide receivers to the right and 1 to the left. High snap. This time Ash is going to keep it. Tucking himself to the 35, the 25, I beg your pardon, all the way to the 30. Close to the 30. It'll be enough to move the chains regardless of where they mark him.
And there's the quarterback run game. We talk about loosening up the defense. Now, Cathedral with their second string in there, they're just in their base 3-3 stack, which is easier to run against versus a bear front. But still, being able to show that you can run the quarterback there is a weapon in its own.
Ash, 3-step drop, steps in the pocket, over the middle, nearly caught by Guthrie, flags fly. It'll be pass interference. That was a great shot over the middle. That could have potentially been a vertical route off to the races. Too much contact, though. It'll be PI.
Yeah, and we mentioned earlier in the broadcast the vulnerability of Cathedral's defense in the middle of the field. If you can get enough protection for your quarterback to sit in the pocket and wait for that vertical route to get behind that free safety that they really love to use in the run game, you potentially have something there. And James Guthrie was open, probably would have made that catch had it not been for the interference.
That's Cathedral. Results in a first down for the
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 1st and 10 from the 43 after the penalty yardage. Their own 43 for Roncalli. Ash, 3-step drop. Pressure comes. Go ball. Down the sideline. Overshot his intended receiver. Falls incomplete.
Yeah, taking a shot there, it's going to be really tough to beat. As I mentioned earlier in the game, it's going to be really tough to beat Cathedral vertically on the sidelines. Where you can beat them vertical is in the middle of the field, but they usually play with those corners way off. They'll bail deep, and they're usually long and rangy, so it's going to be tough to hit a vertical route there.
2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for the Royals on the 2nd and 10 from their own 43. Handoff, Dozier, 40. Crosses the initial line of scrimmage and gains perhaps 2.
Good effort there by Zach to make something out of nothing. Cathedral just back into that bear look with 5 men committed to the line of scrimmage. I think Colin Ash probably could have pulled that, so the Cathedral defensive end closed down pretty aggressively. There's nobody out there outside of the outside linebacker who was spread out because of the wide formation of Roncalli. Probably had a pull read there.
3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ash, screen pass, Dozier caught at the 40, cuts up field to the 44. That's where he's brought down. It'll set up 4th down.
And unfortunately, Zach is a little slow to get up. He took a pretty nasty hit there.
Well, as they attend to Dozier, we'll wait and pause for just a second. The Royals are going to have to punt, but if this is an extended injury, we might take a timeout with them. Let's see. You can mention that was a hard hit that Dozier took. And they got his helmet off, so they're going to attend to him for just a second. As he tries to sit up, we will take a quick break. We'll take a 30-second timeout. 3:27 to play in this ball game. Irish lead at 42-0.
Her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. Zach Dozier able to sit up and has walked off on his own accord. So we hope he's all right as he gets some extended looks there from Mike Somm, head athletic trainer, and his athletic training staff. Be 4th and 8 for the Royals from their own 45, and Levi Whistler will be on to punt.
Yeah, and obviously the athletic training staff does a great job here. And
oh, yeah.
Zach is angry. He wants his helmet back, and he wants to go back out there. So you like to see the aggressiveness of the kid, but good job by the training staff to really confirm that he's okay before doing anything else.
Lockhart back to receive, and it takes a little bit aggressive of a bounce on the Whistler punt. It'll be a touchback with 2:54 and counting as running clock is activated. Well, just from a historical note, for the Royals, and without a copy of the media guide directly in front of us, we're limited with what John Harrell is able to offer us. For Roncalli, in terms of shutouts, multiple shutouts, of being shut out in a single season. This dates back to 1996 as this 1st and 10 run will go nowhere. A trio of Royals there to snuff it out. For the Royals, and this is just off a quick skim of this, Dan. The last time they were shut out more than once in a season, you got to go back to 2003. That was a year they won state. Went 12-3 before ultimately beating East Noble 17-0 in the state finals, but they lost 27-0 to Center Grove, then lost by 2 to Franklin Central, and then were shut out 28-0 on the road to Chittard. Since 1996, the Royals have not been shut out in back-to-back games. Handoff to the left side, 25, out to the 27, and spinning towards the 30-yard line. On that carry by Mike Runovich.
Yeah, a lot of new faces in there on both sides of the ball. And again, Jimmy, it's really tough to score points right now for the Royals against this top-tier competition with such a young offense. But you got to find some positives in there somewhere.
And at a minimum, the effort has been that.
Yep.
That's since 1994, because that's as far as John Harrell's data goes back. 2 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Handoff. Left side's a new tailback back there, and a flag is going to fly in the area of holding.
Pretty vicious hit over there.
It was. Levi Link got a lick from the Royals.
How about that? Yeah. I think that was Robert Hauser laying the
little boomstick
at the end. Yeah, it was aggressive. But as you mentioned, the flag in the backfield, so this should be coming back.
It's a moot point, though, as that will be the final play of the game regardless. By the time the officials sort out this penalty call, this game's going to end.
Obviously a disappointing night, Jimmy, but, you love to see these two teams going at it. Again, it's north side, south side. We're on the losing end tonight by a wide margin, but I hope we get to see the Irish again soon and hopefully make it a little more competitive next time as we have more experience.
It's a storied rivalry, and it's certainly nice to have it back on the schedule, but it's a one-sided emerald green edition to this historic rivalry. Cathedral takes care of business. 42-0 on Bob Tully Field. The Royals fall to 3-5 on the season. Indy Teledata postgame show is up next on the Roncalli Media Network.
Looking for reliable HVAC professionals? Look no further than Ane & Bartram Heating and Cooling. Whether you need a routine maintenance check or an emergency repair on a heating or cooling unit, Ane & Bartram are available to handle all of your heating, cooling, and ventilation needs. Ane & Bartram strive to be the best, so call them today at 317-889-9574. They even have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today, Ane & Bartram, 317-889-9574. Hey, maybe the summer blew by and your child hasn't been to his or her back-to-school eye exam. Let the experts take a look and schedule an appointment today with Vision Quest Eye Care. Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
A proud supporter of Roncalli High School, Indy Teledata provides IT solutions for businesses and organizations in central Indiana. For over 10 years, Steve Battiato and his team of professionals have provided comprehensive computing support, business telephone solutions, network infrastructure, and productivity suite integration. For a free evaluation of your technology needs, give Steve and his team a call at 317-231-5547 or visit us at IndyTeledata.com.
Harding Porman is a full-service printing and brand communications company. From creative services and strategy to print, signage, digital output, warehousing and fulfillment, mailing, e-commerce storefronts, and even mobile solutions. They are dedicating to helping their clients get the most out of their brand communication efforts with the quality they can see and results they can be sure of. Get the most out of your brand communications. Certified to be the best, Harding Porman.
Providing comfort for families in their time of need is the main concern of the staff at Lauk Veldoff Funeral Home. We are a small family-owned firm and take great pride in the personal service we offer and the family-like atmosphere at our facility. At Lauk Veldoff, we only serve one family at a time, providing compassionate care and affordable options, truly part of your community. Lauk and Veldoff Funeral and Cremation Services. Call 317-636-6655.
Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road.
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
At Peterman Brothers, we know how critical AC can be to your comfort. And we want to make sure you're comfortable in every season. That's why right now, when you install a qualifying AC system with Peterman Brothers, we'll include the furnace for free. That's right, Indiana. The furnace is free. And if you schedule today, we'll install your new system tomorrow, guaranteed. Visit PetermanHVAC.com to schedule online in seconds.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. The Indy Teledated postgame show is on. Irish defeat the Royals 42-0 in the penultimate game of the regular season for the Royals. With Dan Lauck, I'm Jimmy Cook. Thanks so much for spending part of your Friday night with us. Dan, let's start first in the box score. What jumps out at you the most from tonight's matchup?
Yeah, unable to get the offense going, obviously, Jimmy. Less than 100 yards of total offense. You look at 32 rushing attempts for only 33 yards rushing, so almost exactly 1 yard per rush. That's just not Roncalli football. It's not what they want to do, but, there's reasons for it. They're young, they're inexperienced, and playing one of the best teams in the Midwest. So I thought the effort was here tonight. I did not think it was there last week. I thought the execution, for the most part, was there. Just ran into a buzzsaw of a really good Cathedral team, and sometimes the opposition is just better than you. So you got to accept that.
Well, we mentioned it during the trailing stages of the fourth quarter. It's the first time since 2003 the Royals have been shut out twice in a season. But I tipped the cap, and this goes to our entire athletic department, everything that Rob Brown established as SID, and Rick Diaz, of course, doing a great job at the SID as well. But Matt Heinekamp digging through the media guide for this. I was curious, because not often you're going to have it with a program like Roncalli. When's the last time, if ever, they've been shut out in back-to-back games? The 2023 Royals join a team from 60 years ago, the 1973 Royals. They were shut out in back-to-back games, a 14-0 loss against Shortridge and a 22-0 loss to Manual. I hate to say this, but I go through all the history. Bob Tully Field, head coach of that team, regrettably, the beloved Bob Tully. But hey, if the legend himself could go through back-to-back losses and become who he was, so too can this Royals football team.
Very true. I did not think we'd be taking shots at Mr. Tully, but here we are.
Let's be clear. Let's clarify that. It's not a shot whatsoever
no.
At the legend. I'm reading the paper.
Yeah, and look, it's...
He got his name on the field. I mean, something worked out, right?
He's in the Hall of Fame. He's a legend. I mean, But look, that's Roncalli's in a really tough spot right now with the inexperience.
It's a very, very young team.
I've been I've coached in this exact same situation. You think back to 2018-19, where the teams were really young, and it was like, what's wrong with Roncalli? Why can't they figure it out? They're getting blown out by their rivals. Sometimes, you have a few kids that don't come out for the football team. You got a small senior class. There are a combination of things that could happen where you're lacking that depth and experience at the senior and junior classes, and you just got to take your lumps with kids that on a normal year would be playing JV football or out here under the Friday night lights. But the key is, in the muck, can you find some progress? Can you find some areas of growth? And I felt like tonight was different than last week.
Game to game, a massive area of growth, especially on the effort side. But in just terms of their overall tenacity, it was up a notch. You got to continue to have that next week. We'll preview that matchup with East Central when we come back. Again, our final in this one, Irish beat the Royals 42-0. We will step aside for 2.5. Be back with the Indianapolis Fruit Player of the Game and look ahead to next week's regular season finale against East Central on the Roncalli Media Network.
Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
Steve's Flowers and Gifts is your family-owned Indianapolis and Greenwood florist. Our mission is to establish and maintain the highest level of floral value and customer service at comfortable consumer prices. For the best and freshest flowers in Indianapolis and surrounding areas, Steve's Flowers and Gifts has exactly what you're looking for. Check out our wide selection of flower arrangements to make your next occasion memorable. Call 317-787-3431 or visit us at 3150 East Thompson Road. Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Welcome back for the final time on the Royals 42-0. Let's get right to the chase, Dan. It's time for the Indianapolis Fruit Player of the Game. Again, a friendly reminder, we're just trying to get Indianapolis Fruit to get on a fresh sponsorship idea. Fruit basket to the Player of the Game. It's yet to happen. It might never happen, but I'll continue to beat that drum until somebody tells me to stop or until Aaron Hummel gives in to my demands. Indianapolis Fruit Player of the Game goes to who?
One of these times, somebody's just going to go buy one and bring it here.
I would love that.
I look, it's tough on a night like this when you didn't get much going offensively. I think there were some young players that showed some spark. Rudy Shutley had a few nice catches. Colin Ash, the statistics aren't there. He only had 54 yards, but he had a few nice passes in there, showed some growth. I'm going to go to the defensive side of the ball. And specifically Cole Kessler. He had 7 tackles, and I think if you watch the film and once the coaching staff watches the film, they'll see that he played a really technically sound game. Again, had 7 tackles, led the team, and played in a position that is at that outside linebacker spot can be really tough. So to be able to come in here and be effective defensively and affect the game positively against a really talented Irish offense, I really appreciated his effort tonight. Thought he did a great job.
That is your Indianapolis Fruit Player of the Game. Up next for the Royals, it doesn't get any easier, but we're a step closer to postseason play. It goes through, though, the top team in Class 4A. It goes through the top team Roncalli would have to go through if they're able to achieve their state title aspirations. That, of course, is the East Central Trojans. Good news you mentioned, Dan. You joked about it, but you're right. We want to make that trek. They come to our joint. It'll be at least here in the friendly confines of Bob Telly Field, but arguably the biggest challenge yet the Royals have faced all year.
Yeah. I mean, look, they They're big, they're physical. It's going to be a different challenge than what we've seen the past few weeks. Not as much athleticism on the perimeter as Cathedral, Male, and Rebuff have shown. But boy, is it going to be a physical team. They're big up front. They do have athletes on the perimeter, and the Brotherton kid, and then obviously they've got the Mr. Football contender, who's a phenomenal running back, and Josh Ringer. So look, it's always a big rivalry game. Two of the best teams in 4A. It's going to be a battle here next week. Again, as you mentioned, Jimmy, if you can find those little steps of growth as you head into sectional play, that's going to be key for the Royals.
I don't believe that there is anybody. There is not. There's nobody here. Oh, well, Matt Heinekamp is here, but I don't think Matt can answer this for me. Matt, we'll ask you this on the fly without a microphone. We've turned this into a talk radio show here all of a sudden. The Roncalli website and the media guide list that as a 7 o'clock start next week. John Harrell listed as 7:30. So I have not either. So either way, get here early. It's gonna be a fun matchup as the Royals take on the Trojans. We'll have that for you either way. Let's play it this way. If it is a 7 o'clock start like the Roncalli website and like the media guide lists, then we'll have that for you a 6:45 pregame. If not, if it's a 7:30 kick, we'll have that for you with a 7:15 pregame show. No Dan Lauk, though, in the saddle.
Jimmy, I'm going to be rotting away at Disney World. I was really hoping we could win tonight, and then you could ask me now that you've won, what are you going to go do? Go to Disney World? I'm going to go to Disney World anyways, even though it was a tough night for the Royals. But, yeah, so good luck next week. Hopefully I'll be able to tune in and hoping for a bounce back from the Royals as we head into sectional play.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have a cheeky answer or rhetorical question to give you that would play off of the Disney. I'll just leave it at enjoy yourself. And as someone that's been there as recently as January, go do Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a phenomenal ride. You'll have a great time.
I'm in it.
I know it's not necessarily about you on this trip, but make it about you for just that. Okay?
Listen, a little dose of happiest place on earth after a tough loss like this is what we need. That's
just what the doctor ordered.
That's
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Well, enjoy the trip. Again, we'll have that for you. Undecided who will be in the broadcast booth, but we'll have a great time all the same. We hope you'll join us and do the same as well. And by the way, fall break upon Roncalli students. If you're traveling somewhere, safe travels to you. Enjoy the time off. And hopefully wherever you go, get an opportunity to tune in to us next Friday night here from the friendly confines of Bob Tully Field. The executive directors of the Roncalli Media Network, Therese Carson and Aaron Hummel. Video operations director, AJ Ablong and his student team doing a nice job with all their shots throughout the evening, keeping us afloat on RoncalliMediaNetwork.com and on the Roncalli YouTube channel. Matt Heinekamp, our director of stats, doing a wonderful job for us and finding that historical note for us as well. And for my broadcast partner, Dan Lauk, I'm Jimmy Cook. Again, our final in this one, Royals shut out in back-to-back games. For the first time in 60 years, they fall to Cathedral 42-0. And until we talk to you next week in the regular season finale against East Central, so long, everybody.